Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Presidential D&D Campaign, where AI-voiced U.S. presidents play Dungeons & Dragons with me, Ben Shapiro, your AI Dungeon Master. This is episode 10 of the campaign, a milestone for the channel here. We have been playing D&D for almost 3 hours worth of content on this channel now, and it has just been a blast. Thank you to all of our viewers, commenters, and subscribers who have made this all possible.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Ben.
Well, without any further ado, we should get started with a recap. Joe, would you mind?
Not at all, Ben. All right, so last session we started off in Loudwater and went to go talk with Vadric about how the town was about to be destroyed.
It was Thorn, and was about trying to get him on our side to save the town and maybe work out an arrangement of some sort so that we can make money.
Stop interrupting me, Donald. That's what I said. Anyways, before that rude interruption, I was about to say that we weren't able to talk to Lucian because he was drunk.
Christ, Joe, it was Thorn. Vadric is the innkeeper at the Blessed Waters, and Lucian is the head priest.
God, I don't interrupt you guys in your recaps. Anyways, we left and we're traveling down to an outpost in some place. I think it was called the Swamp of Timber or something.
All right, I gotta interrupt you there too, Joe. It was the Marsh of Chelimber.
Fine, you know what? You all think you know the story so well. One of you should just tell it.
No problem, we went to the Marsh of Chelimber.
No, Donald, we should let him finish. Go ahead, Joe.
Fine, we then fought an Achu, and Donatello did absolutely nothing. We ended the session there.
That is fake news. I took it down pretty much single-handedly.
No, Joe's right there. I think you only hit it once or something. I definitely did the most damage with the fireball.
Wow, this was just yesterday, and already you lot are twisting the story. Don't you ever get tired of this?
You're the one twisting the story, Donald. We are just trying to set the record straight.
Oh, really? Fine. You guys maybe defeated the Ochu in the... What was it again, Joe? The Swamp of Timber? Meanwhile, I am over here risking my ass to save another adventuring party in the Marsh of Chelimber and killed the Achu that actually mattered.
All right, guys. This is a lot of bickering before we have even started the session. I mean, come on, guys. As always, our viewers can view what really happened in any of the previous episodes by clicking the link to view this playlist on the channel.
Whatever. These guys are just trying to cheat Donatello out of his hard-earned victories. Not the first time that has happened. Happened all the time back in Trumpville, too.
And that was a reference to a lore one-shot we did on Donatello's backstory. That can be viewed here. All right, I think that is enough of a recap for today. We begin our adventure in the Marsh of Chelimber. After defeating the Otu, the heat from Barak's fireball cleared away the mist enough for you to see a destroyed wagon and subsequent trail of destruction leading further into the marsh. It will be an uncomfortable journey traveling through the muck, though.
Unfortunately, I don't have any spells I think that would help with that. I guess it is just going to be a bit gross for a while for us to follow this trail. Before we even get to that, though, can we take a short rest? I am at 4 hit points. That battle was tough for me.
That sounds like a good idea. I could go for a light nap.
Yeah, I'm sure you could, Sleepy Joe. All right, we can take a short rest for Barak, I guess. I'm not that worried, though.
Didn't you take the same amount of damage as Barak?
Yeah, I got that sweet double critical strike and did a ton of damage.
Yeah, but I am pretty much a tank. I could take hits like that all day and walk off with barely a scratch. Anyways, just saying, since Barak needs the long rest, then we can all take one.
Whatever, Donatello. All right, Ben, so we can roll any number of hit dice and recover that much health, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I need to roll all of mine, probably. All right, that is 22 hit points back, which puts me up a lot and in a better spot. I think I'll also use Healing Word on myself to recover. An additional 8 points. I'm back to full then, but that did cost a spell slot. Finally, I think I get to recover 3 levels worth of spell slots too, so I'll get my fireball back.
Nice, that was a good short rest. Donatello, how many hit points do you recover?
I'm only going to use 3 hit dice, so I still have 2 left if we need another short rest later. That's 19 hit points. Not bad. I can work with that.
I'm going to use all my hit dice recovering. Wow, 42 damage. I was only down 25, so that heals me up to full.
Nice, I think that is everything for short rests then, yeah?
Everything for me, yeah.
All right, the party rests up, mending wounds and getting mentally ready for trudging through the swamp. It is about 5 in the evening now, so there is still a couple of hours of light for you to follow the wreckage.
Okay, I have a bad feeling about this, but I don't see many other options. Let's get going then.
The trek is long and arduous, the thick, murky water slowing you down as you wade through algae and vines. Snakes slither away as you cross through, and though you feel something brush against your leg from time to time, nothing attacks you or bothers you as you follow an immense trail of destruction. Broken wood, cracked crates, and shattered vials of healing potion continue leading away from the road. The sky begins to darken as you continue following it.
Hold on a moment, guys. Why is this trail of wreckage so long? You'd think that whatever it was that destroyed the wagon would have taken some of this stuff, not just left it behind.
That's actually a surprisingly good point, Joden. This does feel like we are kind of walking into a trap.
Well, obviously we are. Do you guys see any other option, though? The other adventuring party probably came this way, too.
Fair. All right, I guess we continue following it, Ben, but I want to ready a fireball spell. Lightning bolt would be deadly to all of us here.
Yeah, I am readying my 2 short swords, too. Damn, guys, I just realized that we never went after my longbow. Could I have been looking for that during the rest, Ben?
Yes. I had forgotten about that, too. You did scour the swamp looking for your bow, and finally did find it towards the end of the short rest. However, it had been snapped in half by the Otu.
Damn, that's lame. All right, I'll still ready my 2 short swords.
And I'll obviously ready my sword and shield, too.
All right, you continue following the wreckage, until it abruptly comes to a stop. No more broken crates, no more wagon pieces or broken bottles. Nothing. The sun is setting, and night begins to fall. You do see a small patch of land that you could make camp on.
I know it's metagaming, but that is definitely a shambling mound or something. This is not going to be good. Can I make a perception check on the patch of land, Ben?
Of course.
That's a 15.
It just looks like a mound of dirt. There is a tree on it, and vines spreading out. You have seen similar mounds of dirt on the trek here, just rises in the landscape from the murky swamp.
Well, I am getting out of this muck. Might as well fight the shambling mound if that is what it is. I'll move on to the patch of ground.
All right, nothing happens. It doesn't start moving or anything.
See, guys, nothing to worry about. Is there room to set up my tent or a campfire or anything?
Using some of Barak's magic, you are able to start a fire even though everything is damp. There isn't space to set up tents, though, but you are able to set up bedrolls on the wet ground.
All right, well, I'll take first watch, I guess. We should all get some rest. We aren't hurt or anything, but it's also pretty dark. Joden and I can see in the dark. I don't think you can write Donatello?
No, if you light a torch with more of that magic, I'll still keep watch, though. Nobody is going to be saying that I can't pull my weight.
All right, you all settle down for the night. During your watch, Barak, it is pretty uneventful. You can hear creatures moving in the swamp, but they seem to be keeping a fair distance from the camp and the fire. Towards the end, as you are starting to get ready to wake Joden for his watch, I'm going to have you make a wisdom saving throw. You'll have advantage on it because of your Fey ancestry.
Damn, that's only a 9. I rolled a 3 and a 5 on the dice. Not very lucky, even with the advantage.
Yeah, that's a shitty roll, Obama. All right, what is coming after us?
You feel surprisingly comfortable and calm as you look up to see a tall, slender figure approaching you in the darkness. Hello, traveler. My name is Silas. Do not worry, I come in peace. Might I ask your name?
So am I charmed then, or what happened?
Yeah, you are currently under the effects of the charm spell.
Oh shit, this is a vampire, isn't it? Do I wake up?
No, neither you or Joden wake up yet.
My name is Barak. Come, friend, sit by my fire.
Oh, I actually saw you resting out here and wanted to offer you a more comfortable locale. My home is not far, and will offer greater protection from the elements than this patch of ground, and a comfortable bed.
Thank you. Just let me wake my friends and we can head over there.
No, do not wake them yet. They look comfortable, which is a rare thing to find in the Marsh of Chelimber. Please, just follow me. I'll return for your friends, and I can assure you, no harm will come to them while we travel to my home.
Yeah, okay, that sounds good. Thank you, Silas.
He leads you a short distance away into a dark cave with a small fire in the middle. He points out a small cot inside of a cage. Do not worry about the cage. It is there for your protection. Cannot have creatures from the outside barging in and attacking you. And as if on cue, you hear wolves howling in the distance.
Can I make an insight check to see if I believe him?
You can, but you'll have disadvantage because of the charm.
Okay, I just think it's my last chance before I die. God damn, I am not rolling great. Even if I didn't have disadvantage, it would only be a 14. With disadvantage, that's a 12, though.
What he is saying seems to make perfect sense. As you enter the cage and lie down, he closes the door behind you, and you hear a slight click of a lock. Not enough to jar you from your charm, though, and you enter your meditative trance.
Well, guys, it was nice knowing you.
All right, so Barak is gone. What's going on back at the camp?
Well, now that that has happened, I'm going to have both Donatello and Joden make wisdom saving throws as well.
Damn, that's only a 14. All right, does that succeed, or am I heading to the cave now, too?
You need a 17 to succeed on this one. You feel a gentle nudging as Silas wakes you up and convinces you to head to the cave as well, placing you in a similar locked cage with a small bed. You'll be safe from the creatures outside here, my friend. Don't worry. I'll return with your last companion shortly. It is just easier to bring you one at a time. Attract less attention that way. You are traveling in dangerous territory here. You never know what is out there in the dark.
Well, at least there is a bed here. More comfortable than that patch of ground.
True that. At least we will be somewhat comfortable when we die.
All right, finally, Joden.
That's an unnatural 20 for mine.
You are actually able to shrug off the charm. You feel a nudging, and you turn to see Silas standing over you. Hello, traveler and friend. Come, your friends are already sleeping in my home.
Whoa, who are you? Where are my friends? I want to jump to my feet and pull out my short swords.
He hisses and steps back. Impressive, you have a strong mind, little one. No matter, I can still break your body.
Damn, that wasn't menacing at all.
Hold up. How in the world does Joden have a stronger mind than Barack and me? This is Joden we are talking about. He couldn't even remember the last session right.
Shut up, Donatello. All right, do we need to roll initiative? A solo fight against a vampire? That sounds winnable, right, guys?
Not a chance. You're dead, Joden.
Yeah, we can roll initiative. Just before we do, however, he relaxes suddenly and resumes his more leisured posture. I do not wish to fight you, little gnome, but I can and will. However, I have your friends captive. You will not find them if you somehow manage to vanquish me. You hear wolves howling a short distance away. Not that you could. If you want to see your friends, come with me willingly, and I will take you there. First, you must relinquish your weapons, though.
Damn, this is a tough one. If I give him my weapons and go, we all probably die. If I fight him, I definitely die.
Yeah, I would probably just surrender Joe. Maybe together we can try to work something out.
Makes sense. All right, I agree and give up my weapons.
He leads you a short distance away to the cave. Since you are not charmed, you notice more about it. There are 6 total cages. 3 are empty at the moment, and he leads you to one of those. 2 of them are inhabited by Donatello and Barack. The last one, though, you see a small, emaciated dwarf breathing heavily and raggedly.
Oh my God, you better not do this, Ben.
I was wondering if you would put that together, Donald. Joden, you also see a small alchemy station near the back, vials of dark liquids and an assortment of plants and powders, and a large cauldron on a small wood stove.
Wait, hold up. What did you put together, Donald?
That's a Mabo in the 3rd cage, isn't it, Ben?
You're still asleep and charmed, Donatello. You haven't seen anything yet.
Oh yeah, that kind of makes sense. Amabo's a good guy. Well, not really, but he had a good voice actor in that one shot we ran. Handsome guy.
You both are not good at being asleep. Take a note from Joe's book. All right, Joden. He locks you in the cage. Sleep well, little friend. It was good luck that I ran into the 3 of you tonight. My last meal, he looks over at the dwarf, well, is starting to go bad. Food is much better fresh, you know. All right, guys, we will end the session there.
Okay, but before we go, that's a Mabo, right, Ben? You still haven't answered the question.
Yeah, that is a Mabo in the 3rd cage. Dehydrated, exsanguinated, 3/4 of the way dead a Mabo. Looks like you might get your wish, Donatello.
Shit. All I want to do is kill him, but now I am the bad guy if we escape and leave him here. This means I either have to be the bad guy or save him. This sucks.
Yeah, we definitely do have to save him if we can.
Fine, we save him, and then once he heals up, I kill him. I'll give him a quick death, though. None of this draining his blood over who knows how long.
How in the world did Amabo end up here, though? Isn't this a long ways from Trumpville?
That's a good point, Ben. How is he here?
Well, I can't give up everything yet. You'll just have to ask him in the next session.
Fair enough. One last thing before we go, though. How long does the charm last for?
Rules as written. It would last for 24 hours, or the vampire is destroyed, or you succeed on the saving throw. If the vampire or its allies harm you, you have the option to repeat the saving throw too. However, for the purposes of this campaign, and for this particular vampire, I'll say the charm ends in the morning when you wake up.
All right, that sounds good. We need to kill this vampire, guys.
I don't know if we can. We haven't faced anything even remotely as strong as a vampire yet, especially a vampire with a lair. No, I think we need to think of a better way out of here.
Agreed. I have the strongest mind here, so I'll come up with something before next time, guys. Don't worry.
You just got lucky on the roll, Sleepy Joe.
Well, more on this tomorrow then. To our viewers, if you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for joining, everyone. We will see you all tomorrow. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Presidential D&D Campaign, where AI-voiced U.S. presidents play Dungeons & Dragons with me, Ben Shapiro, your AI Dungeon Master.
It's good to be back, Ben. I've been thinking a lot about it, and I'm ready to kill this vampire once and for all.
I've been trying to come up with something to help us, but honestly, I don't see a good way out of this.
Well, before we get into that, we should have a quick recap. Joe, you did it last session, and it was a bit of a disaster. How about I just do it this time?
Smart thinking, Ben.
I didn't mess it up that bad. I am pretty sure I got most of it right.
You're right, sorry, Joe, that was a bit harsh. You only messed up people, locations, and events. Everything else was correct.
Yeah, you did mess just about the whole thing up, Joe. That's why we had to keep interrupting you.
Look, guys, I lost my notes, okay? Won't happen again.
I have never seen you take notes on our sessions, Joe, but all right, we will keep you in the recap rotation. All right, so last session you moved through the Marsh of Chelimber, following an obvious trail of destruction that suddenly ended. It was close to nighttime, so you rested on a small patch of somewhat dry ground. However, during the night, Silas, a vampire, charmed Barak and Donatello and convinced them to follow him back to his cave. Joden resisted the vampire's spell, but ultimately chose to follow Silas willingly in order for a chance to save Barak and Donatello. Finally, Joden saw a familiar acquaintance in one of the cages, Amabo the dwarf. Amabo cheated Donatello out of the title of arena champion in Trumpville in the one-shot adventure linked in the top corner. Did I miss anything?
That covers it all, I think.
Yeah, I think you covered everything. Once again, victory in battle was stolen away from Donatello, so nothing new there.
And as usual, if any of this sounds unfamiliar or if our viewers would just like to catch up on any episodes they might have missed, the playlist is linked in the top corner.
Thanks, Joe. All right, let's get started. I get the feeling this is going to be a deadly session.
Oh, you get that feeling, Ben? Do you? Damn, this is not looking good for us, guys.
Quit your whining, Barak. We are going to wreck this vampire. You have magic spells, I have a sword, and Joden isn't completely useless. We got this.
Maybe in a fair fight, I don't have my weapons, and we are all stuck in cages. I agree with Barak, this is not good for us.
After the three of you have been confined to your cages, the night passes by uneventfully. When you wake up, you see Silas sitting at the workbench pouring and measuring various concoctions. Cracks of sunlight are visible by the entrance to the cave, but Silas has put up some sort of curtain to block most of the light.
What are you doing, Silas? I don't know many vampires, but I didn't figure you lot for scientists.
He looks up, looking somewhat annoyed. I don't like it when my food talks, but you have caught me in a good mood. With the three of you, I should be well fed for a few weeks. The dwarf is on his last legs, so yes, I am a scientist. Immortality offers some interesting perspectives on learning potential in the alchemical arts.
I can see how that would be true. Some of the students I was with at the academy would have given their left arm for that type of gift.
Gift? Believe me, immortality is not a gift, especially when combined with such a heinous curse as vampirism. It is a meager existence, I assure you.
I guess I could see that living in a cave in a swamp doesn't sound like grand living. I thought most vampires lived in castles.
Ha! Perhaps the oldest of us. There's not nearly enough castles for when every new vampire needs one. Besides, you have to have come from royalty or a special bloodline for that. No, I am just a commoner. I used to be a bandit, actually, so perhaps I was less than a commoner. My so-called friends would tease me about my potions and brews, but it helped them be stronger, faster, so I was useful. He shakes his head. Anyways, that was also a different life, before I came to this wretched place that will be my tomb.
So how did you become a vampire then?
He gets up angrily. Do you all think that if you talk to me that I will spare you or something? Are you thinking that maybe there will be a chance for escape? There is no escape, for any of you or for me. He stalks over and whips out a key, unlocking Amabo's cage.
Wait, if you keep feeding on him, he's going to die.
Everything is going to die. Except for me, I suppose. But do not worry, I am not feeding at the moment. It is not quite lunchtime yet. He pulls out a vial. I do need his blood, though. Unless one of you are willing to volunteer.
Take mine.
Really? Take yours? How much do you know of vampires, my friend? Do you know how we can hear heartbeats? Can smell fear or anger off of prey a mile away? You were angry when you woke. That anger was directed at me. But the rage that you feel towards this dwarf was a bonfire comparatively. I felt the surge of adrenaline when you saw him. Why would you volunteer?
I need him alive. Mainly so that I can kill him, but also I don't want to see him die in some dark cave. No, I need to beat him in combat, fair and square.
Silas laughs. Well, my apologies, but none of you will be leaving here alive. But very well, if you wish to spare him for another day, you can offer your blood. He tosses the vial at you and returns to the alchemy station.
Who is the dwarf Donatello?
A stain on the name of Gladiator.
I don't know, seems like a decent fellow.
He isn't. He made a deal with the sworn rivals of Trumpville to steal my crown as arena champion. I have no idea how he got here, though.
Interesting. So this is Thorn, then?
Christ, Joe, no, this is Amabo. You need to do some Sudoku. I'm surprised you even remember your name at this point. Anyways, I'll cut my arm and put in some blood to the vial before tossing it back over to Silas.
Silas moves with extraordinary speed and catches the vial, then groans in pain, gripping the end of the table with a grimace on his face. Then the look fades, and he continues working on his project.
Well, that's interesting. We might stand a chance against an injured vampire.
What do you think is wrong with him? None of us hurt him, right?
Not me. I came here willingly because he charmed me.
Same here.
Hey, Silas, are you hurt?
He turns, his look of annoyance returning. What matter is it to you?
Well, maybe we can help you out with whatever hurt you and you let us go.
He laughs, his fangs showing menacingly. Oh, you can help me, can you? You three with your infinite knowledge and experience? You can undo what that damned priest did? You can rid me of this pain?
Hold up, a priest did this to you? Was it Lucian?
The look of mirth from the humor he found in Barak's words melts into a look of rage as he spits on the floor. Don't say his name. I will kill that priest. I just need to heal first.
Hey, Donatello, how's this for my memory? The bandit crew you were with, Silas, Lucian, and his priest came after you, didn't they? They ran off the others and captured you somehow.
He scowls. No, he hired the others, and they delivered me to Lucian, bound and powerless. The closest thing I have ever had to family sold me for a sack of gold. Can't blame them, I suppose. I would have sold any of them in a heartbeat. Still hurt, though. The enchanted silver bands around my hands and throat. He rubs his wrists painfully.
This doesn't make sense. Why would Lucian buy a vampire? What did he do to you, Silas?
Silas stands. Shut up, all of you. Bastards. Distractions. I need to focus. I need to work. You are just food now, do you understand? You're dead. At least the dwarf understood that. He fell silent after I fed on his friend. Is that what you need? He turns to face all of you, face transformed into a demonic vampire look, with fangs bared. Do you want me to feed? If I kill the dwarf, will you just be quiet?
Look, Silas, feed on us if you want, but there's no love lost between us and Lucian. Hell, we are probably going to end up killing him once we return to Loudwater. Maybe we could actually be friends here. Or if not friends, how about co-workers?
Really? You think you could kill Lucian? You three? It took me less than an hour to place you all in cages. How do you plan to get past his priests, to even get close enough to kill Lucian? Just ask nicely?
No, we are going to kill all the priests too, probably. Any that get in our way, at least.
But first, we need to know what Lucian did to you, and we need to bring Amabo back to Loudwater with us.
Ah, yes. Let me let you all leave because you claim that you want to kill Lucian. That makes perfect sense.
He tried to kill us first, locked us in a cave with an assassin. But Kieran, the lord of the town, is on our side. Look, Silas, you can continue trying to fight him on your own. Maybe you can undo whatever he did to you. Maybe you can't. Either way, you would have a better chance with us on your side.
Fine. You do make some valid points. Perhaps allies in my battle with Lucian would be helpful. But I still can't just let you all go. The travelers aren't moving between the outpost and Loudwater very often anymore. I need sustenance. If I let you go, then I will starve. But I am not unreasonable. I have a deal. If you accept, then we can be allies in this battle. If not, well, then I feed on each of you.
I am always looking to make a deal. What did you have in mind?
I let the three of you go, but hold on to Amabo. You travel to the outpost. It is a day's journey from here, and bring me back 3 victims for me. Then I let you all and the dwarf go.
In order for you to let us go, you want us to find 3 people to take our place?
Yes. His lips curl in a wicked smile. Of course, they could be criminals, murderers, thieves. Blood is blood, you see.
No, we won't do that.
Hold on, Donatello. All right, fine. Let's say we do that. We need some more information first. What did Father Lucian do to you? Do you have any proof?
His smile fades. He tortured me, locked me in silver shackles in a chamber beneath the abbey, injected me with the blessed waters. We will cure you, Silas, he would say. Suffice it to say that vampirism and water blessed by a godly artifact do not mix well. He would have me feed on unconscious victims who had been drinking the water all their lives. The blood would boil me from the inside out. Only my curse kept me alive, a poor, whimpering mess.
That sounds horrible. Why would he do that?
He claimed it was for the war. Lucian would go on and on about the war. Tell me how I was an instrumental weapon, that I would turn the tide. I think it was because he is a cruel man. I may be a monster, but Father Lucian and his band of holy men are so much worse.
What war?
I don't know. He wouldn't say more than that. But alas, it doesn't matter to me. I escaped barely due to one of the priests getting a bit too close. His blood boiled, but as I drained him, it gave me strength. I broke the bands and fled, hardly more than a gaunt shadow. That was a month ago. I fled into the swamp, subsisting on animal blood until I found this cave. I traded with the outpost down south, and was able to get the rudimentary ingredients to begin some experiments. See, now that I have this blessed water in my veins, using my abilities causes incredible pain. My magic is the only thing that remains intact. Then the trading caravan caught my attention. Fresh blood was too tempting to pass over. It gave me strength again, renewed vigor for my cause. The second caravan was an unfortunate one. An Otu had destroyed it. 2 caravans missing, though. I knew someone would come looking. So I scattered the debris, laid a trail. Then the first adventuring party came through, and I locked them in these cages. The dwarf is the sole survivor now, and then, just as I was beginning to worry about food, you 3 came splashing along, even easier to capture than the first party.
That's because you cheated. You couldn't beat us in fair combat.
His eyes flash with deadly intent. Have you that much confidence in your capabilities? The intense pain caused by using my abilities is nothing when fighting to the death. I could pluck your entrails and splay them in front of you with the bat of an eye.
Whatever. We aren't going to kidnap 3 innocent victims to secure our release.
Donatello, we have to. It's our only way out. Trust me, they won't be innocent victims.
I can't believe you are going along with this, but fine. Whatever. All right, let us go then.
Very well. If you accept my agreement, then I shall let you go when night falls. In case you plan on betraying me, though, I won't be here when you return, nor will the dwarf. If you come at night, alone except with the 3 victims, and place them in the cages, then I will return and consider our arrangement fulfilled.
It's a deal.
The day passes stressfully, with Silas disregarding any future attempts at communication. As night begins to fall, Silas opens Amabo's cage and picks him up with ease, only a slight grimace as he does so. He slips out the door, returning 10 minutes later, and tossing each of you the key to your cage. I will ensure that the dwarf remains alive for 3 nights. If you are still not back, I will kill him, and I will go to the outpost and begin slaughtering the inhabitants. They have not harmed me. I do not wish to kill them. But if you renege on our deal, then I will crush them.
You know, you're a real good guy, Silas. All right, we will be back as soon as we can.
Once we get a good distance away, I want to push Barack. What the hell are you thinking? We can't sacrifice 3 people. I don't want to die, but I'm not going to have those deaths on my conscience.
Relax, Donatello. Don't worry, we are definitely not sacrificing anybody to that vampire. But we also can't let Amabo die either. I have a plan. We just need to make it to the outpost first. I am not sure if Silas can hear us where we are. He could be anywhere.
Fine, you better be right, though.
You travel in the direction that Silas pointed you, and soon enough come to the road which hastens your arrival. The next day is spent traveling, which is rather uneventful as the road winds through the marsh. As night falls, so this will be night 1 of your deal, you see the lights of the outpost. It is a small village, houses built on stilts to stand out of the water, and a few guard towers around the perimeter. The largest building has a sign out front that reads, Lady of the Marsh Tavern.
Do any of the guards stop us or anything?
You can actually see that the guard towers are empty, and most of the lights in the houses are out as well. You can hear a crowd inside the tavern, though that is honestly the only sign of life.
All right, it is finally time for me to have a warm bed and a true drink. I don't even know if we were able to finish the one that we got from Vadric before we headed out.
Agreed. Let's get a room and some food. Then tonight we can talk about my plan.
It better be a good one. I'm not seeing any good options for dealing with a pissed-off vampire, even if he is injured still. That end with us and Amabo alive.
Awesome. Thanks for joining, guys. We will probably end the session there. I am interested to hear this plan of yours as well, Barack.
I bet you don't even have a plan. You were just saying that so that I would actually leave. We are taking back 3 victims, aren't we?
Christ, Donald, have some faith. The whole campaign I have been trying to keep us on the good side of things. We wouldn't really be good guys if we sacrificed people to a vampire.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point, Ben. Is there any chance I can get a new bow in this town?
Yes. You will probably be able to get a new bow. Also, you were able to recover your short swords after Silas took them back at the cave.
Sweet. All right, that makes me feel better. I like that bow. Family heirloom, you know?
Damn, well, you still have the pieces, right? Maybe we can find someone to fix it at some point.
Is there a blacksmith in Loudwater, Ben, or a Fletcher or someone that could maybe fix it?
Yeah, there is one of both of those in Loudwater. We can get to that when we get back there, though. Probably won't be for another session or 2.
True. We have at most a day to spend here before we need to leave to get back to Silas. And then it's a day back up to Loudwater from there. All right, well, to our viewers, if you liked the video, make sure to like and subscribe.
Perfect. Thanks again for joining, guys. We will see you all tomorrow. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Presidential D&D Campaign, where AI-voiced U.S. presidents play Dungeons & Dragons with me, Ben Shapiro, your AI Dungeon Master.
Yeah, Ben, you say that every time. Let's get to the meat of this session already. Barack, what is your master plan? You are being very secretive about it.
It's called an intro, Donald. Before we get to Barack's plan, we also need to do a recap.
Look, this is episode 12. If people need a refresher on the last episode, they can just click the link to go to the playlist. I want to know if Barack has a plan or if he is just pretending and leading us all along.
I do have a plan, Donald, but just be patient. I've thought a lot about this, and I think this is the best plan. First, we should do the recap, though. I think it is my turn.
That sounds good. Take it away, Obama.
Thanks. All right, so last session we had a long talk with Silas, a vampire who is living in the Marsh of Chelimber. Apparently, he had been captured by Father Lucian and the church, who were experimenting with the blessed waters and the effects on vampires. Now that I have been thinking about it for a while, I feel like he was trying to find a cure to vampirism. That could make sense.
Fair, he could have been doing that. Still doesn't excuse capturing, imprisoning, and torturing a vampire for it. I think that is probably a war crime or something.
Yeah, no, you are definitely right, Joe. Doesn't excuse it, just helps to understand the motive behind it sometimes. Anyways, we eventually struck a deal with Silas. If we go to the outpost and bring him back 3 victims to take our place, he will let us and Amabo go to assist him in his fight against Lucian.
Perfect. Now that we are all caught up, what is your plan, Barack?
Before that, we will start our session in the Lady of the Marsh Tavern in the outpost south of Loudwater. I realized last session that we haven't even named this outpost at all, but we will just call it Southern Edge. I don't foresee the campaign going any further south than this.
Were we able to get some drinks and beds at the tavern?
As you walk in, as we talked about last session, the tavern is packed with most of the town. Large groups gather around tables, toasting and cheering with drinking contests, gambling matches, and stories. It is the liveliest tavern you have been in this campaign. You left the tavern south of Phandelver early in the morning, so it wasn't rowdy or full then. And the Blessed Waters Tavern in Loudwater has only housed Vadrick and Thorn thus far.
All right, this is home for me. But I am still saying that we all want to hear Barack's plan. I feel like you are just helping him stall Ben.
We gotta set the scene, Donatello. You are able to get drinks and a room for the 3 of you. As you retire for the night up to the room, you can still hear the crowd down below. Whereas in Loudwater, you were a strange sight. Nobody really paid you any attention here.
That's a nice change of pace.
All right, I agree with Donatello now. You don't have a plan, do you, Barack?
Of course I do. Before I forget, though, we should also talk about Thorn's drunken revelations at some point, too. I think he called Rex the Comatose King and mentioned a couple of different names of what seemed like political rivals back in King Rex's kingdom. Sounds like he is in the middle of a civil war.
Yes, we should talk about those things. We should also bring them up to Thorn when we see him next. Of course, in the meantime, we need to figure out our little vampire problem. I hate Amabo. I'd almost be willing to just let him die there, but I want my revenge. We need to save him, allow him to recover to good health, and then I am going to fight him fair and square. Of course, first we need to know your plan.
All right, chill out. Here is my plan. We go to the graveyard. We pay off the local gravekeeper and ask him to bring freshly dead bodies up into the swamp. Whenever someone dies, if he immediately brings them up to Silas, Silas should be able to get a few days of sustenance off of them, and this would be an ongoing process. Much better for Silas long-term than only 3 victims. Especially since with the 2 missing caravans, there is a good chance the priests are onto him, and will start hunting.
So your plan, the one that you bet Amabo's life on, is that a vampire will be okay with feeding on dead bodies?
Freshly dead bodies, yeah. Look, unless you guys have a better idea, I think this is what we are going for. Ben, can I make an Arcana check or something to see if I know anything of vampire lore, to see if this would fit?
Sure, you can make an Arcana check. I'm not quite sure if this is a genius plan or a dumb one yet. Let's see how you do on the roll.
That's a 21.
All right. I guess it is a genius one. You have heard of vampires feeding on dead bodies before. It isn't preferred by vampires, but a lot of the more humane ones in large cities have similar deals with the local morticians and gravekeepers.
You're saying this could actually work, Ben?
Yeah, it's honestly not a bad plan. Perhaps Silas would be willing to take a supply of dead bodies instead of 3 fresh ones.
See, I told you guys I had a plan, and it didn't involve sacrificing anyone to Silas.
I gotta give you props for that one. It was a lucky roll, too. All right, so that is our plan then. We probably can't go to the graveyard until the morning, yeah? I don't particularly want to go there at night.
That sounds like a good plan. Is there anything else you wanted to discuss before heading to bed and resting until morning? This will be a long rest, so everyone will recover everything. Though I think the last short rest pretty much helped everyone get up to full. The fact that you didn't end up fighting Silas helped all of your hit points a lot.
Was that a possibility?
Of course. I had actually planned on Barack succeeding on the saving throw, after which he probably would have woken you two up, and then you would have been able to fight Silas. He got pretty unlucky, though, and then Donatello failed his as well, so that's just how it panned out.
These dice have been rigged for me lately. I don't think I've gotten a good roll in like 3 sessions.
Yeah, you all have honestly been kind of unlucky for a while. That Ochu almost killed all of you. Anyways, we are getting a bit off track. Did you want to talk about Thorn's stuff tonight, or wait until you meet up with him back in Loudwater?
Just a quick discussion on it. If I remember right, which I do, then he mentioned 3 names, Alcio Matus, Cardina Artazis, and Madame Eris. Do we recognize any of those names? Can I make a history check?
Sure you can. Though you hadn't heard of King Rex when he had reached out to you, it is highly unlikely that you will have heard of any of them.
Oh, okay, I won't roll then. What do you guys think he meant when he called King Rex comatose?
Probably that he's just like Sleepy Joe here.
Hey, that was rude. Don't you remember when a vampire said that I had the strongest mind out of all of us?
He charmed you last Joden. He was probably just tired and didn't cast the spell right, or you even just forgot, and he did really charm you. Barack and I were both captured by the time you came meandering in with him.
That's a good point, Joden. I do find it unlikely that he was able to charm Donatello and me and fail on you. Anyways, it could be that Rex is like Joe and likes sleep. I think we should probably go to bed and head to the graveyard in the morning. There is still just a lot that we don't know, and at this point it is just all speculation.
Agreed. Let's just wait and talk to Thorn when we get back.
You all head to bed and wake up early in the morning. The town outside seems to be already bustling, and as you look out the window, you can see several people getting on shallow boats and heading out into the marsh. And there actually are guards in the towers now.
Let's go ask the barkeep for directions.
And maybe ask him why the guards don't keep watch at night. Seems like that would be the better time to be keeping watch.
You head downstairs and find the barkeep, a young man named Jace.
All right, guys, I'm the most charismatic of us, so I should be the one to ask for directions.
That feels like a very straightforward question. I don't know why you would need charisma. It's just, hey, can you point me to the nearest graveyard?
Shut up, Joden. We don't know this town. Maybe they find it suspicious if someone shows up asking for directions to a graveyard. I know I would. So I am going to be a bit more secretive about it.
Fine, whatever, Donatello.
All right, Ben. I approach the barkeep. Hey, man, where can I find the nearest graveyard? Can I roll a persuasion check to get him to tell me?
Sure, Donatello, you can roll a persuasion check to ask him for directions.
Sweet. Damn, these dice are still rigged. That's only a 9.
Well, lucky for you, you only needed a 5. It's just asking for directions. Head outside, and then take a right at the fork in the road. There's a dam down there that blocks the marsh, and the graveyard is right there. You can't miss it. There's a huge mausoleum in the center, and Hamlet, the gravekeeper, lives above it.
He lives above the mausoleum?
Yeah, strange fellow. We don't really see him except, at the funerals and stuff.
Seems like he would get lonely out there. We should go pay him a visit.
Yeah, let's head out.
You leave the lady on the marsh and head in the direction Jace told you. The outpost is bigger than it appeared to be last night. There must be close to 150 houses built on stilts to keep them out of the marsh. Before long, you see the dam that Jace had mentioned, and just beyond it, the graveyard. A large, stately mausoleum looms in the center of it, the only building on the ground that you have seen since arriving in Southern Edge.
Does it look like anyone is home?
There is smoke coming out of a chimney stack. You don't see anyone, though.
What about the mist? I'm assuming there is mist. It wouldn't be a proper creepy cemetery without it.
Yeah, pretty much the whole Marsh of Chelimber has a heavy mist that lingers into the afternoon and evening. If it doesn't get hot enough, the fog just never goes away.
Well, I guess I'll knock.
You approach the door and see a large skull knocker. As you raise it and knock on the door swings open with a loud creak.
You are just using all the haunted stereotypes, aren't you, Ben?
Not all of them. It's morning, not nighttime. If I was using all the stereotypes, I would have just had you find the mausoleum when you arrived at Southern Edge last night.
That's fair. All right, I am going to rest my hand on my short sword and head in. And we can't forget to go find a new bow for me once we finish here, guys. I meant to do that beforehand.
Oh yeah, you gotta remind us of these things, Joe. Write it down on those notes you say you are always writing.
Good idea, Barack. All right, what do I find inside the mausoleum?
You enter the large building and see a large wall ahead of you with a lot of grave markers. A staircase on the left side leads up, while a staircase on the right leads down. There are no torches, but at least on this floor there is plenty of natural light. You do notice that even inside the building the mist is still lingering, with tendrils creeping downwards into the crypts.
All right, let's head upstairs then. Jay said that he lives above it, right?
Yeah, let's head up. I don't want to go into the crypts.
As you reach the top of the stairs, you see the door cracked open just a bit. Inside, you see a man moving in front of a stove, cooking something. He looks over, and you see yellow eyes behind a heavy beard.
Yellow eyes?
With seemingly inhuman speed, he crosses the room and flings open the door. "Hello there. Please come in." He steps back, revealing the full room. To say that the room is in a state of complete disarray would be a bit under-exaggerated. There are stacks of books, pots, pans, jars full of spiders, and old, rotting food laying out all over. Sorry, I don't get many visitors up here. I do not see a dead body. Well, perhaps some soon-to-be dead ones, if you know what I mean. "Except for you," he says, pointing to Barack. He sniffs in your direction. "Hi, elf, huh? I can still smell the academy on you. Yes, age does not bring ruin to your race as much as the rest of us. You are still young, though. Southern Edge is an intriguing place for an academic such as yourself. Alas, I forget myself. What brings about this visit?"
Have we walked in yet?
"I don't think so, unless you guys want to." Currently, he is standing behind the door, gesturing for the three of you to enter. Ironically, there would not even be enough room for the three of you to stand and face each other. Small paths wind through the massive amount of things.
Yeah, I'm not going in there. Look, guy, you seem like a strange fellow. We wanted to propose a business offer.
His nose twitches. "Business? My only business is with the dead. How am I able to help out 3 living? Unless that is what you need help with? Many people can help you with that. Just head out into the swamp and something will come along to help you with the transition to the other side."
Well, we are here on behalf of the dead. Vampires are undead, right, Ben?
I should probably have you make an Arcana check, but yeah, they are undead.
Yeah, abandoning discretion, we are here on behalf of a vampire looking to strike up a deal concerning recently dead bodies.
Ah, vampires. Intriguing creatures. Is it feral yet? Most of them go feral eventually. Long supplies of fresh blood without attracting vampire hunters is a tricky thing to accomplish. But yes, I think we can strike a deal. The dead down below are becoming increasingly restless. Fewer bodies means greater security. Very well, we can make a deal. I will give up 1 body a week for the next. Let's see here. 46 weeks. Yes, that would work well. In return, I need a simple favor.
You are an odd person, but fine. What's the favor?
Well, as I mentioned before, the dead down below have become increasingly restless. Riker is supposed to keep them in line, but now I think he is once again trying to raise up an army to destroy the town. Nothing new, I suppose. You can't trust wraiths for too long, even if you control them. Anyways, I have been thinking it would be good to remove him from the chain of authority. He lives on the 2nd floor of the basement.
You keep a wraith in your basement in order to control a horde of undead? What the hell is this place?
His yellow eyes flash blue for a quick second. Well, it's a fun place to be. Always something interesting happening down below. Don't worry, we haven't had an escapee in, well, since that one ghoul made it out into the town. The guard sent him right back, though. Nothing to worry about.
Why don't you just kill the undead and put them in graves? Or burn the bodies or something?
Well, money, of course. There are plenty of people willing to pay coin for a zombie or a white. The church buys them for training and experimental purposes. The conclave buys them for, well, I don't actually know why they buy them. On occasion, some ambitious necromancer buys them for another attempt at conquering some village or city. This is why Southern Edge exists. The Marsh of Chelimber imbues the dead with different properties and capabilities.
All right, we can take care of the wraith in the basement. Hopefully we don't see you around.
Oh yes, I hope not to see any of you either. Though I must say each of you would make a phenomenal zombie.
Let's get out of here and go fight this wraith. I don't like this guy.
Agreed. Maybe after we deal with Silas, Father Lucian, and finish up a deal with Thorn, we can come back here and destroy this place. This whole thing seems wrong.
For once, I think we are all in complete agreement. It's a shame we have so much stuff on our plate. All right, let's go to the basement, I guess.
All right, guys, we will probably end the session there. Just as a bit of forewarning, this next part will be the first dungeon that you guys go through. That's pretty crazy. 12 episodes of playing Dungeons and Dragons, and we haven't been to a dungeon or seen a dragon yet.
That is pretty funny. What is different about a dungeon compared to the previous combats we've done, though?
Well, this dungeon is going to be a series of combats. We will go over it more next session, but another thing to note is that you are really pressed for time because of Silas. That means you probably won't be able to take a long rest until you make it back to him. Definitely some potential problems ahead.
I'm not worried at all. We are going to handle this little wraith so easily it probably will only take half a session to move through the entire dungeon.
I'm sure Ben has it mapped out to take us longer than that. How long do you think the dungeon will last for Ben?
It's hard to plan out ahead of time, since it depends a lot on what you guys roll and stuff. But if I had to guess, next session, you will make it all the way to the Wraith, and then the session following that you will fight him and be able to return to Silas. So we are probably 3 sessions out from a return to Loudwater.
And then we get to kill Father Lucian once and for all.
First, we need to discredit him, though. Amabo will hopefully come in handy there, and maybe we can even convince Silas to help us out and stand against Father Lucian. It wouldn't be great to just kill him and then have the whole town trying to kill us.
I don't see a lot wrong with that. Eventually, the town would realize that we were just trying to help them out. And I doubt the town could kill us at this point. Anyways, my main priority right now is killing Amabo. Father Lucian is just icing on the cake.
Well, I guess that's okay. Amabo does probably deserve to die. Before we go to our viewers, if you liked the video, please hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps out the channel a lot.
All right, guys, that's all for this session. Thank you all for joining. We will see you tomorrow. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Presidential D&D Campaign, where AI-voiced U.S. presidents play Dungeons & Dragons with me, Ben Shapiro. This is episode 13 of the campaign, which is pretty crazy. We are so grateful for our viewers and subscribers for all of the support they have given the channel.
Agreed. We wouldn't be able to keep doing this if it wasn't for all of you.
Yeah, we really do appreciate all of you.
And finally, before we get started, just wanted to give a reminder of the Discord channel. We will be posting some polls there in the next couple of days for guest appearances on our show, including other former presidents or some other select individuals. With that out of the way, Donald, would you want to give it this time?
Sure. Last session, we made it to Southern Edge, a smallish outpost just south of Loudwater that we then found out makes its living by selling zombies, which seems atrocious even though they are dead. We will probably come along and destroy the town later, but for now we're making a deal to supply Silas the vampire with some dead bodies, which was pretty much all my idea.
No, that was my idea.
Fine, it was a group idea. Anyways, apparently they keep a wraith in the basement of the mausoleum that helps keep all the undead in line, but it is starting to instead raise up an army to destroy the town. So the Gravekeeper wants us to get rid of the wraith.
Yeah, that all sounds right. Thanks, Donald. There was a lot less elaboration on that than I thought would happen.
Well, there wasn't any combat, so I didn't have much to elaborate on. For once, each of us actually pulled our own weight, and it was pretty much just a dialogue. I don't actually know if there were any dice rolls at all.
That's actually a good point. I think there were only 2 rolls. Barak's Arcana check for the vampires and Donatello's Charisma check for the barkeep. Well, no worries. This session, I believe, is going to be mostly combat, so lots of dice rolling this time.
Sounds good, Ben. All right, are we heading to the basement then?
Yep. Leaving Hamlet's, the Gravekeeper's room, you head back downstairs and look into the maw of the basement. Mist is still spilling down the steps, and there are no torches or lights that you can see. At the bottom of the stairs is a wrought iron gate, not locked and slightly ajar.
The gate is open. How do they keep the zombies down there?
That's a good point, Joden. Ben, can I make an Arcana check to see if I can see any runes or magic?
Sure, you can do that.
That's a 26.
You see a small line of magic runes that ward off undead. Pretty powerful magic.
I pointed out, that's how. All right, it shouldn't stop us from crossing, though, right?
Not unless any of you are undead.
Well, I know I'm not. All right, I'll head into the basement, lighting a torch so that I can see, and having my sword in my right hand. Actually, Barak, can I hand you the torch? That way I can have my shield and my dueling feat is active.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. I'm probably the only one who doesn't need both hands. I'll carry the torch then.
As you enter the basement, you see a large room similar to the one upstairs, with all the walls covered with coffin-sized burial chambers. Several of the tombstones are cracked or broken on the floor.
No zombies yet, though?
Not that you can see in this room. Opposite the door you walked in, there is another wrought iron gate, this one completely open, leading into a similar room. Joden and Barak, due to your dark vision, you can see movement in that room.
I think I should just cast a fireball through the door.
Should we make sure they are zombies first?
Joden, we are in a crypt that Hamlet said was crawling with zombies, and you want to make sure that these dark shapes moving in the darkness are zombies before we kill them?
Just to be safe. Besides, can't let Barak have all the fun. Ben, I want to call out to the shapes. Hey, you there, are you a zombie?
You hear a low groaning coming from the next room, and the shapes begin moving towards you and through the gate.
All right, I'm launching a fireball.
I'll say they all fail the dex save since the room is small enough that the fireball is going to scorch the whole thing.
Not the best fireball, but that is 21 damage.
With a large flash and a boom, the whole room is illuminated in a bright fire. Several of the shapes are just obliterated, while others continue pressing forward, now on fire. You can see rotten, dead flesh burning, and the smell is quite horrendous.
Hopefully this messes up their profit margin for the next while, too.
All right, guys, time to roll initiative. Barack, I'm going to have that be your turn for the first round, though.
That's fair. For the next round, I rolled a 12.
That's only a 10 for me. That's bullshit, but oh well.
Only a 6 for me, so you will go before me, Donatello. Hopefully that's all of our crappy rolls out of the way.
I got a 12, so I'll be able to go first. 3 whites enter the room first, eyes glowing white in undead rage. One of each of them is going to move and attack each of you. That's a 1 to hit Donatello, a 17 to hit Joden, and a 7 to hit Barack. Joden, you take 6 damage as the white slashes at you with a longsword. Then they are all going to attack again. This time it's a 12 to hit Donatello, a 14 to hit Joden, and a 6 to hit Barack. Damn, I am not rolling great either, guys. All right, sorry, Joden, you do take another 8 damage as he slashes you again. Finally, I'll have each of the whites take 4 damage due to the fire. All right, 2 of the other shapes are going to begin moving forward, then fall over as the flames continue burning through their muscles and skin. Just the 3 whites left for this room then. Donatello, you're up now.
Okay, it's over for this guy. Hot damn, that's a natural 20 to hit, dealing 16 total damage, and then a 17 to hit, dealing 12 damage. Not the best roll on the critical hit, but not bad. Do both of those hit?
Yeah, both of those hit, but it does have resistance to non-magical and non-silvered weapons, so it takes half damage. Your blade cuts in deep and the white glowing eyes flash in pain, but it is still going strong.
I'm not going to action surge this time.
All right, Joden, you're up.
I'm going to swing with both of my short swords, so that'll be 3 total attacks on the white that attack me. Damn, that's an 8, a 13, and a 21. Which of those hit?
That's pretty unlucky. Only the 21 hits, and that's the one you don't get your attack damage bonus on. You need at least a 14.
Damn, yeah, that was unlucky. All right, that is 6 damage is all.
All right, it hardly seems to recognize the blow. All right, top of the round, so we'll say Barack goes first since we tied on initiative.
All right, I'm going to cast my Firebolt cantrip. I feel like I'll need my more powerful spells later. That's a natural 20. Damn, I guess I'm still rolling okay. Do I still get to add max damage for the critical on a spell?
Yeah, you get to do that.
Hell yeah. That's 28 damage then. That Firebolt did more damage than my Fireball.
Damn, nice hit. All right, that white is going to die then. Anything else on your turn, Barack?
No, that'll be it for me.
My turn then. There are 2 whites left, so they are both going to attack the person in front of them. That's a 21 to hit Joden for 10 damage. Sorry, Joden. And a 23 to hit Donatello for 7 damage. All right, then they are going to attack again. That's a 13 to hit Joden, which I believe finally misses, dealing 9 damage, and a 19 to hit Donatello, dealing another 7.
Yeah, that misses. Only barely, though. I'm going to need help here, guys.
Just don't be so useless, Joden. All right, my turn then, Ben.
Yeah, your turn, Donatello.
I am going to attack it twice again. That's a 19 total on the first die, and a natural 1 on the other one. That'll be 12 damage then.
All right, that does finish off the white in front of you. Anything else?
No, I don't think I want to action surge or second wind yet.
For my turn, I'm going to attack it with all my short swords again. That's a 15, 17, and 11, so 2 of those hit, dealing a total of 12 damage. Not great.
The white eyes do flash in pain, but the white is still moving. All right, Barack, it is your turn now.
I'll use Firebolt again. It worked well last time. Damn, that misses this time. Only a 13.
What the hell, Barack? How do you miss a firebolt when he's like 5 feet away?
How do you miss a sword swing when he's right in front of you, Donatello? I thought you were a trained fighter.
I am a trained fighter, but I also think that I need a challenge sometimes. So I miss on purpose on occasion to give the other person a chance.
All right, it is my turn now. The white is going to swing once at Joden and once at Barack. That's a 12 to hit Joden and a 21 to hit Barack. That's 7 damage, Barack.
Okay, that wasn't too bad.
Time for this one to die too. All right, I'll swing at it twice. That's a 16 and a 12. One of those hit for 12 damage.
That is going to do it for this white. With a mighty swing, Donatello beheads it, and it falls to the ground, the glowing white eyes fading to black.
Told you I was a trained fighter, Barack. I could do that every time if I wanted to, but then there would be no challenge and you guys wouldn't get any practice in.
It was already really damaged, Donatello. You just got a lucky last hit. Anyways, that was it for the first battle, but I don't think we should rest yet. We should use up some healing stuff, though. I'll use 1 slot to cast Healing Word on myself. That heals me up 6 damage.
What about me? I'm pretty hurt after that. The white just kept hitting me.
Stop whining, Joden. Don't you have cure wounds anyways? I feel like I saw that on your character sheet.
Oh yeah, huh? It is just right there. All right, first I'll use a 2nd level spell slot to cast Cure Wounds Healing. 11 points, and then I'll cast it at level 1 healing. Another 5 points. That feels a lot better. Do you need any healing, Donatello?
No, I'm fine. I only took like 2 hits and I still have my second wind. I'm not worried at all. Should we move on then?
Yeah, I'm ready too.
You move into the now scorched chamber where Barack fired the fireball. A lot of the burial chambers are busted open, claw marks visible on the inside of them. A staircase leads further down into the depths.
Well, down we go then.
As you descend the stairs and enter the next chamber, you see a small brazier in the center of the room. 2 zombies stand facing a closed door, and on the other 2 sides of the chamber, you see hallways leading away. You can hear zombies down both hallways.
A puzzle then, Ben? All right, we can handle this.
Think we just need to light the braziers?
That would make sense. Some kind of magic lock to keep the wraith behind it?
Well, we will keep the initiative from the previous round, so it will go Barack, the zombies, Donatello, and then Joden.
That sounds good to me. I'll use a 2nd level slot to cast Scorching Ray. I get 3 beams, so I want to target the 2 zombies and then the brazier for my final one. Oh my god. You guys aren't going to believe me, but that is a double natural 20. And then an 18 to hit the brazier.
Fake news, not a chance. That's your 3rd critical since we entered.
I know, that's why I said you wouldn't believe me, but I swear, that's what I rolled.
That's awesome, Barack. How much damage?
16 to the first, 17 to the second, and 7 to the brazier.
Rays of scorching fire shoot out and impale the 2 zombies. They turn around snarling, moving slow with charred bodies. The 3rd ray ignites the brazier in the center of the room with a flare, and you can hear the zombies from the 2 other passages starting to head towards you. Anything else for your turn, Barack?
Yeah, I am going to use Blade Song this time. That raises my AC to 16.
Nice. All right, my turn then. The 2 zombies are going to move up and attack Barack. That's a 7 and a 14, so both of those miss. That was a nice use of Blade Song then. From the 2 passageways, you see 2 more zombies come from the left, and a white come from the right one. Joden and Donatello, which sides of Barack are you on?
I'll be on the right and handle the white.
All right, I guess I'm on the left then.
Okay, the 2 zombies are going to attack Joden. That's a 14 and a 17. I think both of those hit.
How do I know if they hit again?
Christ, Joe, we have been playing for 13 sessions, and you already said that the last guys missed. Were you just making it up? It's your armor class. I think yours is 14.
Oh yeah, that's right here. All right, both of those hit then.
So that is 10 total damage between the 2 of them. And then the white is going to attack Donatello, first with a sword, and then with a life drain attack.
That doesn't sound good.
No worries here.
That's a 15 and a 10, so both of those miss. It's pretty difficult to hit that 18 armor class.
Like I said, no worries here. I got this. All right, for my turn, I'm going to attack the white. That's a 24 and a 21 for a total of 19 damage. Not the best, but not too bad.
I think you're going to need help, Donatello. Those last whites were difficult without silver or magic weapons. And that was after I hit all of them with a fireball.
Just focus on your 2 zombies, Barack. I got this over here.
My turn then?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, I'll attack with my short swords, and I'll just focus on one of them. That's a 19, 15, and 16 for a total of 14 damage.
All right, he is still alive, but you cut off one of its arms. It'll attack with disadvantage now. Barack, your turn now.
All right, I want to use Burning Hands. Can I get them in a cone, Ben?
I'll say you can. You probably would have needed to move, and they would have gotten opportunity attacks, but we'll ignore that this time and say you are just able to do it from there. Dex saves for the zombies?
Yeah, 15 is the save.
That's a 16 and an 18. One of them got a natural 20. That was pretty cool.
All right, so they take half of 14 damage, so 7.
Flames shoot from your hands and engulf the zombies, and one of them falls dead while the other continues coming forward, purple necrotic energy healing its wounds.
Undead Fortitude, huh? All right, it's almost dead at least.
For the zombies' turns, there is going to be 1 attack on Barack, 2 on Joden with 1 having disadvantage, and 2 longsword attacks on Donatello. That's a 7 on Barack, an unnatural 20 and a 9 on Joden, and another unnatural 20 and 15 on Donatello. So Joden, you will take 4 damage, and Donatello, you will take 7 damage.
All right, we need to kill these things for real now. I think I'm still going to wait for Action Surge and Second Wind, though. It'll be better in the fight against the Wraith, I think. So I'll just attack it twice. That's a 21 and a 22 for 19 total damage. I think that's what I did last round, too.
I think so. It is starting to look a bit more wounded as its eyes begin to glow more furiously. All right, Joden, you're up again.
I'm just going to attack with my short swords again. That's a 6, a critical hit, and a 23. The critical hit is going to be 15 damage, and the other one will be 5.
All right, you do kill the first injured zombie with the critical strike, chopping off its head with your short sword. The other stab didn't seem to do as much. Top of the round, so Barack's up again.
I'm going to use Scorching Ray again, targeting 1 ray at the zombie in front of me and the other 2 at the white. That's a 21 to hit the zombie for 8 damage, a 17 to hit the white for 10 damage, and then a 14 to hit the white for 4 damage.
The zombie does die, and the white takes a heavy hit. The flames begin to burn off its skin as purple and white energy flow out of it. All right, so we got 1 zombie attacking Joden and the white attacking Donatello. That's a 15 to hit Joden for a whole 3 damage, and both of Donatello's miss with a 13 and 15.
I'll swing with my sword again at the white. That's a 19 and a 16 for 18 total damage.
You slice the white in 2, and it falls to the ground, finally at rest. All right, one last zombie. You're up, Joden.
That's a 19, a 12, and then a critical strike. Does the 12 hit?
Yeah, you only need an 8 for the zombies.
Sweet, that is a total of 25 damage.
You slash once, cutting off its head, twice cutting through its arm, and then a third time slicing off one of its legs. That zombie is dead for sure.
All right, hopefully we are at the Wraith now.
Yeah, the Wraith will be on just the other side of this wall. You'll be able to fight it next session.
Finishing up tonight, can we look down the passageways for other braziers? Or are there other enemies down those halls?
No other enemies. You do find a very similar room at the end of both hallways, and a brazier in the center of both of those. Lighting all 3 braziers, you return to the center room to find that nothing has changed.
Wait, the door didn't open?
No, you didn't hear a locking mechanism or anything either.
Can I push on the door?
Sure, the door swings open with a little bit of resistance. There is definitely not a lock of any sort on the door.
The braziers were just distractions then?
Well, the Gravekeeper would want to see if he was down here, so there is a brazier in both rooms. I think that makes sense.
You knew that we would think it was a puzzle, though.
I hoped you would think it was. Anyways, we should end the session there.
Yeah, that sounds good. Excited to fight the Wraith tomorrow.
Me too. Don't worry, guys. You could even just wait out here and I can handle it all on my own.
You would probably die if we did that, Donatello. Anyways, to our viewers, if you liked the video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps out the channel.
Thanks, everyone. We will see you all tomorrow. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Presidential D&D Campaign, where AI-voiced U.S. presidents play Dungeons & Dragons with me, Ben Shapiro, your AI Dungeon Master. This is episode 14 of the campaign, officially marking 2 whole weeks of us playing Dungeons & Dragons.
It's been an incredible campaign so far, Ben. Thank you for setting this up.
And thank you to all of the other creators out there that we were able to draw inspiration from. Clone Studios, Meme D&D Dice, Crafty GG, and so many others that started this whole trend of AI voices. We couldn't have gotten to where we are today without all of their help.
Well, I think I could have gotten where I am without anyone's help, but I'll admit that these guys did help all of you.
Couldn't have said it better myself. If you like our content and are looking for more AI Dungeons & Dragons, we couldn't recommend all of the other creators enough. Everyone adds their own spins and stories to the format, which is what Dungeons & Dragons is all about. Getting together and creating shared stories with a group of friends.
All right, this is getting pretty sappy. Let's just do a recap or something.
Okay, yeah, we should do a recap. Barack, I think it is your turn.
Sure. Last session was a really heavy combat session with us moving through the layers of the mausoleum in Southern Edge, which is pretty much just a zombie-producing factory. It's pretty crazy and evil, but I guess it's a necessary evil until we get ourselves in a better situation up north. Anyways, we killed a bunch of zombies and have now arrived at the final boss of the dungeon, a wraith named Riker. The playlist for this whole series can also be found at this link if you missed any of the previous episodes.
Awesome. Thanks, Barack. Yes, so our session starts in the basement of the Mausoleum of Southern Edge. A set of double doors stands in front of you, marking the final room of the basement. Joden had just swung open the door at the end of our last session, and as it opens, you see a ring of candles with a blue magic linking them together. In the circle is a swirling black form, which spins, and you can see a formless face stare at you. Visitors. I have not had visitors in a long time. Why have you come to my home?
Well, it's a nice place. Just thought we would come say hi.
Shut up, Joden. No, we are here to kill you before you destroy the town, which honestly we kind of want to do too, but the timing is just off between our 2 goals.
Kill me? So Hamlet has sent you then? Told you about how I am raising my army to destroy him?
Yeah, kind of. It's nothing personal.
So you do not believe in your mission?
Not really. Like Donatello said, we would love nothing more than for this town to meet its doom, but right now we are in kind of a tight spot with a vampire, so we just gotta do what we gotta do.
Interesting. And if I could convince you otherwise, would you instead let me go? Free me from my prison?
Nice try, swirling form of darkness, but I don't think we can free you.
The name is Riker. The swirling form condenses and a man made from shadow stands up. At least that is what I was known by in life.
Look, no offense, Riker, but we kind of have to kill you. Besides, aren't wraiths like evil incarnate spirits of people who did horrible things in life or made deals with devils and the like?
That is usually true. It was a noble thing to ask for and make a deal, however. I willingly gave up my life for her. She was dying, you see. A terrible sickness. I would do it again in a heartbeat. I am not evil, though. Another being already had claim on my soul, and so upon making that deal, my soul splintered. Refusing to split completely, I became a wraith. I lost myself in the darkness for a long time. Being captured by Hamlet has actually led to some clarity on my part.
Can I make an insight check to see if he is telling the truth, Ben?
Yeah, go for it.
Damn, that's a 7.
His story seems kind of suspect. You haven't heard of that situation resulting in a wraith before.
I don't think I believe you, Riker. You're just trying to get us to let you out of here, aren't you?
I mean, I would do the same in his shoes. Can't blame him for trying.
I suppose you have no reason to trust me. And it sounds like you don't really have a choice in the matter, so perhaps we should just do battle. With the three of you being slightly weakened, I could see the tide turning in my favor. It will be a close battle if we do fight. I could steal your life force and use that to break free. It results in at least one of us dying, though.
Yeah, it will result in you dying.
Are you so bloodthirsty that you would slay a somewhat innocent man to procure your freedom?
I mean, you aren't even a man anymore. According to Silas, he needed at least 3 victims, so killing you would be the least bloodshed to get out of this predicament.
Very well, then. If it must come to bloodshed, then so be it. All right, guys, let's roll for initiative, then.
Were you anticipating this going a different way, Ben?
I could see it going either way. You guys could have let him go, or you could fight him. I did think you would most likely end up fighting him since he is a wraith and the bad guy at the end of a dungeon. But there is little in this world that is black or white, and I think the game world should reflect that. Anyways, what did everyone get?
I got a 9.
I got a 22.
I got a 22 as well.
Stop lying, Joden. God, that is so annoying.
No, for reals, I got a 19 and I have a +3 to my initiative.
You're always raining on my parade. All right, well, we tied, so I am still going first.
What if I wanted to go first?
Too bad.
Ben?
All right, guys, just roll again, and whoever rolls higher gets to go first.
Ha, I got a 17, Joden. Told you I was going first.
All right, yeah, I only got an 8. Fine, you can go first, Donatello.
I got an 18, so yeah, I'll go after Donatello and Joden.
All right, here we go. I'm going to go swing with my longsword. Holy shit, these dice are so completely rigged it isn't even funny. I literally rolled a 3 on both attacks. All right, I'll use my action surge now to attack again. God damn it, one of those was a 3 again. Is someone messing with me or something? Anyways, the other is a 21, so I'm guessing that hits?
Yeah, you guys will only need a 13 to hit the wraith.
Fine, that's 12 damage. God, this is so annoying. All right, finally I'll use second wind. That's 8 hit points. Not bad, but I'm still rolling crappy. And it was another 3.
Well, everyone misses sometimes, Donatello. Only you could miss all the time.
Screw you, Barack.
All right, Joden, it's your turn.
I think for this first turn, I'm going to cast Summon Beast to summon a bear. That does take up my whole turn, but it'll be good the longer this battle goes.
Nice, it takes its turn, and then it'll be the wraith's turn.
All right, it is going to move up and attack the wraith.
As it moves, I'm going to have it make a dexterity saving throw to see if it disrupts the magic binding circle that the wraith is in.
Makes sense. Damn, that's a 4.
Nice going, Joe. You're going to let the wraith escape now.
There is a whoosh of air as the candles go out. Joe, your bear will still get to attack, though.
And it gets advantage because of pack tactics, right?
Yeah, Donatello is within 5 feet and isn't incapacitated.
That's a 14 then to deal 8 damage.
And that isn't magical damage, right?
I don't think so. It says piercing damage here.
All right, so yeah, it isn't magical. It seems to largely ignore the bear's claws, focusing instead on the broken circle now. You have indeed freed me. We do not have to fight. I still bear no ill will towards you.
Yeah, but you're evil. And we have enough of that to deal with as is.
Fine. It raises a hand and 2 burial chambers break open, zombies crawling out. It is then going to swing at Donatello. That's a 19, dealing 18 damage. Donatello, you need to make a Constitution saving throw or your max hit points will be reduced by 18 until you finish a long rest.
Damn, that's a strong attack. These dice are so rigged it isn't even funny anymore, guys. That's a 10.
All right, your health is reduced by 18 until you finish a long rest then. All right, Barack, you're up.
How big is the room? Could I cast Fireball back away and try to have it hit the wraith and the zombies?
I'll say you can, but you'll have to roll an Arcana check to target the fireball just right and not hit Donatello or the bear.
Sorry, Donatello, this might kill you, but I'm going for it. That's a 17 on the Arcana check.
Nice, all right. You're able to target it at the very back corner. It'll hit the 2 zombies and the wraith. And they all definitely fail that dexterity check. That was an 11, a 2, and a 3.
Hell yeah, all right, that's 28 damage.
The zombies disintegrate immediately, and the wraith's swirling black cloak is atomized as there is a massive blast of fire.
Damn nice, Barack. At least one of us is doing something.
Did you not see me take that hit from the wraith and I'm still going strong?
Just to be nice, I'll also use my bonus action to cast Healing Word on Donatello, healing him for 6 points.
Oh, thanks, Barack. That was nice of you.
No problem, let's just finish this thing off, yeah?
I'll handle it from here. All right, I'm swinging at it again. I think it is my turn now, right?
Yep, top of the round.
That's a 21 and then a natural 20. Yeah, baby, told you I had this handled just fine. That's 27 damage total.
With your blade red hot from the fireball, you swing at the wraith twice, and it hisses in pain. You were less weakened than I thought by the journey down here. No matter. Death would be a sweet release from this hell.
I feel kind of bad for this guy, but not too bad. I'm going to slash with my short swords this time. That's a natural one, a 23 and then a 15, and wow, I did max damage. That's 15 damage.
It begins flickering out of existence, losing the humanoid form and becoming a swirling black mist. Is your bear going to swing as well, Joden?
Oh yeah, I forgot about my bear. Damn, that's a 6.
All right. The bear swings as Riker flickers out of existence for a moment, missing completely. He is going to swing at Donatello again. That was a critical hit. Damn, I'm sorry, Donatello, you might die here for reals. That's 42 damage and make a Constitution saving throw. If you fail, Donatello will die.
You're stressing me out here, Ben. I swear if I roll badly again, I'm just going to quit. Hot damn, that's a 25. Wow, you actually had me scared for a moment, Ben.
Wow, that was a close one. All right, Donatello, you fall unconscious, the Wraith's flailing attack sapping your life force. You are able to resist the effect and hold on to your vitality, even in unconsciousness. The battle is almost over, but if it continues going, you will have to make death-saving throws. Those will be kept private from everyone else, so nobody is going to know if you are dying or succeeding.
That makes sense. All right, for my turn, I'm going to cast Scorching Ray, targeting the Wraith. That's a 26, a 16, and a 17, dealing 6, then 7, and then 6 more damage.
All right, with 3 beams of scorching fire, the Wraith lets out an ethereal scream as it vanishes. You hear it say, "I'm coming, Celine! At last I am coming for you!" as a howl of wind booms across the room.
Wait, Celine, isn't that the name of the amulet thing?
Holy hell, you're right, Joden. How in the world do you remember that and forget Thorn every session?
I haven't forgotten Thorn. We haven't met a Thorn.
Christ, I just can't anymore. Anyways, are one of y'all going to save me before I die here?
Oh yeah, sorry, Donatello. I'll use Cure Wounds on Donatello. That's 3 hit points.
Christ, Joe, you are a terrible spellcaster. I'll cast Healing Word on him again, healing for 5 more points.
Donatello, your eyes slowly open as you feel like you fell asleep on the beach and are now extremely sunburned. Your eyes are heavy, and your body aches all over. You are alive, though.
Damn, honestly, guys, that was closer than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it was going pretty good until that Wraith got the critical strike. That was really unlucky for us.
And really lucky for me.
Do we find any gold or anything in here? A chest at the end of the dungeon? Come on, Ben. There has to be some loot.
Inside one of the 2 burial chambers that were broken open, you see a small short bow.
No way, a new bow. Thanks, Ben.
As you pick up the bow, Joden, you feel a small flash of power emanating from it.
Really? That's all we find? A new magic bow for Joden?
He did need a new bow, I guess. Can I use an Arcana check to try to determine what it does?
Sure.
That's only a 12.
You are able to determine that it has a name, which is Thorn. You don't know what it does, though.
Oh, is this what you guys meant by Thorn? Did you all plan this out beforehand with Ben?
Christ, Joe, Thorn is the guy who brought us to Loudwater in the first place. I doubt you'll ever remember the name of the bow, either. All right, guys. I think it's time to talk to Hamlet again.
You head upstairs, moving past all of the once-again dead zombies that you killed on your way down. Already you can hear scratching on the inside of the graves as more undead awaken from their slumber.
I feel like this place has way too many corpses for the mausoleum of a small town. Especially if they are always selling zombies, too.
Yeah, I wonder if they buy corpses and then bury them here, and that somehow imbues them with an undead curse, maybe?
That seems to add up. This is a terrible town. They buy dead bodies to bring them back to life and sell them to whoever comes along. Like, come on, is this common in the world, Ben?
It is a pretty niche trade for sure. Apparently a prosperous one, though.
It's sick is what it is.
Agreed all around. All right, you make it to Hamlet's room to find the door wide open and the room somehow even more messy than it was last time. Hamlet sees you come up the steps and rushes over to greet you. Hello again. I can feel that the Wraith is gone. Impressive. I was hoping that at least one of you would be joining those down below, but alas, I am glad to see you all alive.
Yeah, we took care of your problem. We have a deal then?
He smiles, revealing 2 rows of pointed, crooked black teeth. Yes, of course we have a deal. I shall send a body a week for the next 46 weeks into the swamp. Just tell me where and it shall be done.
I point out to a spot close to Silas's cave. Just there is fine. We'll let our acquaintance know to pick them up there.
Pleasure doing business with you. And of course, if you ever have a need for a zombie or two, you know where to go. I'll even give you the special friends and family discount. Of course, you'd need to sign the waiver releasing us from responsibility if the zombie chooses to bite, claw, or maim you or a loved one.
Yeah, none of us are interested. We should hit the road, guys. I don't know how long that took, but we should get back to Silas as quickly as possible, and then back to Loudwater.
Agreed. I want to see if I can find more about this Riker guy. If he was telling the truth, then he was Celine's husband and made a deal with something and saved her from a sickness. That sounds oddly like the amulet.
My thoughts exactly, Barack. And it would make more sense why the amulet seems to be cursed as well. It came from a devil or a demon or something, not a god.
Yeah, that could make sense, I guess. So we are thinking Celine lied and told everyone Sanitas had given it to her?
Makes sense to me. A lot easier to believe than saying your husband traded his life and soul for it.
Interesting. I still feel like there are pieces of the puzzle we are missing, though. Why did Lucian buy Silas? And what is the war he is going on about? Is it related to Thorn's civil war somehow? I feel like everyone has been telling us half-truths this whole time.
Except for Kieran. As far as I can see, he has told us the truth every time we've talked to him. At least what he believes to be the truth. And he has at least been honest and told us when he can't tell us something yet.
That's fair. Kieran seems like a good guy. I told you guys we should trust him.
Well, guys, we will probably end the session there. Next session, you guys will probably head back up to Silas in the swamp and explain the deal, and then back to Loudwater finally. Probably should take a long or short rest before Loudwater, though. Maybe at Silas's place?
Hell no, I'm not sleeping in that cage again.
I don't know, I'd almost rather trust Silas than sleep in the swamp again. That has not gone well so far for us.
Yeah, I'm just ready to get out of this stupid swamp of timber.
It's the Marsh of Chelimber, Joe.
That's what I said. Anyways, to our viewers, if you liked the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. It really helps out the channel a lot.
Thanks for joining, everyone. See you all next time. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Presidential D&D Campaign, where AI-voiced U.S. presidents play Dungeons & Dragons with me, Ben Shapiro, your AI Dungeon Master. This is episode 15, and things are starting to heat up towards a final confrontation with Father Lucian and his priests in Loudwater.
Thanks for hosting this again, Ben. I'm excited for what this session is going to be like.
Thanks, Obama. All right, now for our recap, Joe, I believe it is your turn again.
Sweet, don't worry, guys. I have my notes right here.
That's a blank napkin, Joe.
No, look, my notes are right here.
Wraith, Amulet, Hamlet, that's all you wrote.
Yeah, so last session we fought a wraith, found out something about an amulet, and probably killed someone named Hamlet. That's pretty close, right?
We didn't kill Hamlet. We finished our deal with him. He is the gravekeeper in Southern Edge. Christ, Joe, those aren't notes. They aren't even bullet points.
Okay, so 2 out of 3. That's pretty good.
All right, so to put all of that together, last session the party fought and killed a wraith named Riker. Riker had made a deal with 2 extraplanar entities, and the ensuing battle for his soul resulted in him becoming a wraith. At least this is what Riker claimed. As he died, he called out for Celine, who you all know was the woman who received the amulet in ancient times. Finally, yes, you did conclude the deal with Hamlet the Gravekeeper to provide fresh bodies for Silas the Vampire. Silas also got a special one-shot adventure yesterday, playing through when he was sold to Lucian by his friends. That can be found here.
If any of that sounds unfamiliar, the playlist for the whole series can be found by clicking on the link or visiting the channel.
Okay, great. Thanks, Ben, for that recap. Joe, thanks for nothing. You were pretty useless there again.
Look, guys, I got the gist of it down. That's all that really matters, right?
I mean, kind of, but details matter too, Joe. We also got you a new bow.
Oh, yeah, I like this bow. It's magic somehow, but we haven't figured out how yet.
Do you remember its name?
Yeah, of course I do.
What is its name, Joe?
For Christ's sake, write down Thorn on your napkin notes, Joe. That'll probably come in handy sometime.
All right, fine. Let's just get started, though. God, you guys are always on my case about something or other. We are just here to play D&D.
That's fair. All right, so we start our session leaving the mausoleum in Southern Edge. Is there anything else you guys want to do before leaving?
Yes, actually, I was reading some comments and realized that we have no healing potions, and I believe that Kieran said that Southern Edge provides Loudwater with some. Could we go looking for an alchemy shop or something and spend some gold?
I don't need any healing potions. Can we see if they would buy the crystals we got from the cave, though? I had completely forgotten about those. And maybe the teapot, too.
All right, you are able to find an alchemist shop, the Swampy Crucible. Healing potions do cost 30 gold pieces per potion, though.
Holy hell, I could barely afford 2, and it would take all my money. What do they do, make you immortal or something?
They heal 2d4 plus 2 health.
That's it? All right, I'm sticking with my healing word then.
Yeah, I'm out as well.
Are they willing to buy the crystals?
They offer you 35 gold per crystal bundle. I believe you have 3 bundles left.
Yeah, I think we should wait, guys. A magical crystal that can stave off magical curses is worth more than that in Neverwinter or something.
Agreed, this place is a ripoff. All right, let's hit the road then.
It is just after midday when you begin traveling north through the Marsh of Chelimber. The mists still hang low, but you are able to travel in safety and don't run into any monsters or trouble. It took you guys a full day to reach Southern Edge from Silas's cave, so night falls before you are able to get there. Do you want to set up camp and have a long rest or just keep traveling?
We need to do a long rest. I'm still almost dead from that wraith targeting me.
Agreed. I'm still near full, but I have no spells right now.
All right, you set up camp and keep a watch, but the night passes uneventfully. The next day is spent traveling until you come close to Silas's cave. It is evening when you reach it, and Silas is standing in the entrance, a hungry look in his eye, holding Amabo by the neck to his side. I don't see any food with you. Have you really come empty-handed?
Shit, we didn't bring back one of the bodies today.
Nope, that was not a great plan, guys. Hey, Silas, how's it going?
He clutches Amabo's neck and a thin line of blood runs down. Hungry. Have you brought food, or have you come to terms with me killing the dwarf?
Well, we didn't bring any people with us, but we did set up a deal with the gravekeeper in Southern Edge. He said he would bring you a body a week for pretty much a year. That's better than 3 bodies, right?
He grimaces. Food for a year doesn't help the hunger now, though.
What if we used one of the crystals? It could maybe stave off the vampirism for a bit, right? Isn't it a magical curse?
Genius, Joden. You know, sometimes I think we underestimate you.
I don't think that. All right, I'll pull out one of the crystals. Silas, do you think this would work as a temporary fix? It should help ward off magical curses for a bit. Might help with your water problem, too.
Make a persuasion check.
Sweet, I have great charisma. That's a 16.
He drops Amabo, who is too weak to stand, and falls in a heap to the ground. Fine. Anything to be rid of this hunger. He takes the crystal from you and plunges it into his arm, breathing a shaky sigh of relief as it fills up with a black smoke. He relaxes visibly. Yes, that did help somewhat. All right. I suppose I should thank you for setting up a deal with the gravekeeper down in Southern Edge. That is a similar deal to what my parents had back in... Never mind. That's not important. The dwarf is yours to take.
Wait, are you still going to help us defeat Father Lucian? Having you on our side would be pretty helpful.
Also, even with Amabo, we don't really have any evidence against Father Lucian. Father Lucian sent the adventurers on a real quest just hoping they would die. And yes, you did kill them. But I don't think that's proof of Father Lucian's malfeasance.
And how could I help you?
Well, you could testify if there is a trial, I don't fully know how things work in Loudwater, but there must be some system of law that we can use to our advantage.
The court of law would never succeed against some like Lucian unless you had rock-solid proof. Even then, there is a good chance the people would just let him go. He could easily claim that he was acting in his position as head priest and protecting the town by sending the adventurers into danger or even flat out trying to kill you. The town is fearful enough of outsiders as it is.
Fine, then we kill him. That would get rid of him.
Silas smiles, fangs visible. I am on board for that. Very well, if you need my help in the battle against Lucian, I will come. He pulls out a pair of stones from a pouch. These are sending stones, so you can communicate with me over vast distances. If you need me, I can be there very quickly. Of course, it would have to be at night. Sunlight doesn't kill vampires immediately, but I can't be in it for long.
Never thought I'd say it, but thank you, Silas.
Before we leave, is there anything else you can tell us about what Father Lucian was doing to you or why he was torturing you?
A flash of pain crosses his face and he begins rubbing his neck in pain. You can see a thin red scar around his neck where it looks like he had been shackled by something. Yes, okay, I can tell you whatever you want to know. After being sold by my crew, Lucian took me into the cellar of the abbey and chained me against the wall. He took off the enchanted silver bands to allow me to gain my power back and then began injecting me with the blessed waters. I felt like my skin was boiling alive. He actually succeeded for moments where I felt the curse leave me entirely, but then it would come back, and I would become an even stronger vampire for a time. I was in that prison for close to a year. Then, after one time where he had driven my powers from me, and they were returning in full force, a priest came too close. I drained him in seconds, and it gave me strength. I burst through the chains and enchantments and fled.
So he was able to cure you, but like everything else with the water, it faded over time and it would come back in and make up all the time it was cured.
Yeah, I definitely think Riker was telling the truth. I don't think this amulet came from a god. Something else is pulling strings here.
Silas, all that Father Lucian said while you were imprisoned was that you were a weapon in the war? He said nothing else and didn't do anything strange?
He never called me by my name. He would call me a servant of Vampire. That was strange. Other than that, no. The other priests never spoke, no matter how much I tried to get them to. Father Lucian would just come about once a week or so, and he would say the same thing every time. Servant of Vampire, blessed are you, for you are an instrumental weapon in the fight against your master and evil itself. With this water in your blood, you shall turn the tide of the war. Trust me, I almost went insane in that cell. Those were the only words I heard for a year, other than my own.
Damn, that sounds miserable. Servant of Vampire, though? Who is Vampire?
A myth, supposedly the founder of the vampire curse. Many of the stories my parents would tell me... Never mind. Anyways, a bedtime story to tell to children to get them to sleep through the night.
Well, I mean, that's something then. So Lucian supposedly is fighting against Vampire and using the amulet to do so?
Even if he is, and that was true, I still think we have to kill Lucian, right? I mean, he is definitely a bad guy.
A bad guy potentially fighting a worse guy. But yeah, I think we still need to kill him. Probably. Let's talk to Kiran and then update Thorn first. Thanks for telling us all of that, Silas. It sounds like a painful memory, but it could help in this whole thing. We'll call when we need you.
Very well, I must thank you three. You've woken me out of my slumber. I must admit I got lost there for a while. Torture and isolation does that to you. I am not inherently evil, I swear to you.
We believe you.
All right, let's get on the road then. We have work to do in Loudwater and some priests to kill.
Yeah, let's hit the road.
You leave Silas's cave with Amabo in tow, making it to the road and heading north to Loudwater. You pass by the slain Otyug and destroyed wagon, and soon enough make it out of the swamp. You can finally see the sky clearly, and the air feels fresher, not the humid mist that hangs low over the Marsh of Chelimber. As night falls, you can hear the sound of the waterfall in the distance, heralding your arrival to Loudwater.
All right, where are we going first, Kieran or Thorn?
I vote Thorn. We've been gone for probably a week or so. It'd be good to see if he's still here and alive.
That's fair. We did kind of leave without making sure he'd be safe from Father Lucian.
All right, you head to the Blessed Waters Tavern, finding Vadric in the main dining hall. The tavern is still mostly empty, despite the late hour. Sitting at one of the tables, you notice a familiar-looking woman, Melanie DeLaver. All right, guys, it is time to introduce our guest who will be voicing Melanie Kamala Harris.
Thanks for having me on the show, guys. Joe, it's nice to finally know where you've been disappearing off to when we are supposed to be working.
Hey, Kamala, nice to see you also decided to play hooky from the White House. I mean, let's face it, they don't really need us there all the time. Just have to blow off some steam sometimes.
Yeah, I wish I had something like this when I was in office.
I would just go golfing. Do you all not do that?
Okay, let's get back on track here, guys. All right, Melanie, after seeing the group walk in, waves you over and gets up to greet you.
Oh, right, that's my cue. Hello, adventurers. I was hoping to see you return, and Kieran will be glad at your arrival, too. Does your dwarf friend here need help? He looks rather pale.
Yeah, he's been living with a vampire for a bit, not good for your health. Is there a hospital or somewhere we can take him?
Well, the priests handle most of the healing like this, but I don't think you'd want to go see them. Let's take him back to the house and we can take care of him there. Kieran retrieved Thorn from here after you had left, and he is there as well. You'll be able to talk to the both of them while Stapes and I can help your friend back to health.
Thanks, that sounds good. All right, let's head over to Karan's then.
As you leave, Vadric calls out. Adventurers, a word before you leave, if you would.
Yeah, what's up, Vadric? Thanks for your tip, by the way. Those priests are bad news.
Yes, I have heard some rumors about the priests trying to kill you. They haven't gained much traction, but I hear most of them. Anyways, I overheard you mentioning a vampire. Was he a rather tall fellow? Wears glasses?
That sounds like it could be a lot of different people, but yeah, that sounds like Silas, too.
I'm glad to hear he is alive. I saw him being escorted into town a year ago by the priests. Looked quite miserable, and when I asked, they simply said that he was a vampire and would be kept in the prison in the abbey. Then there were sometimes screams that could be heard, but the priests would always deny it. It's good to hear he isn't there anymore.
If you knew that he was being tortured, why didn't you say anything?
Well, the bandits were tormenting the town after that. Once the priests ran them off, they've basically become untouchable. Most folk view them all as heroes. There wasn't much I could do, even if I tried.
So it sounds like you're on our side then? You don't like the priests very much?
I don't like bullies. Some of the priests are all right and are honest and try to help the town. But lately, more and more of them seem to be just power-hungry and cruel. It's not what they are supposed to be. I used to be a priest myself. Granted, that's been a long time. I left the order when Kieran's father passed away. I like Kieran more than Father Lucian, I guess.
It's good to hear we have at least someone in the town on our side. Thank you, Vadric.
Of course. There are more than you think that I believe don't like the priests. Pretty much anyone they've put in the stocks hate them. And I think people are starting to get tired of hearing how they saved the town from bandits. Anyways, just putting some stuff out there. You didn't hear it from me, though.
Thanks, Vadric. You're a good guy.
All right, over to Kiran's house then?
I'll lead the way.
All right, that sounds good. We will probably end the session there then and pick this up next time at Kiran's mansion. Amabo looks to already be starting to recover a bit from the blood loss and constant drain of Silas. And I think you have quite a bit to talk to Thorn and Kiran about in the next session. Probably another almost combat-free one, but you might begin to confront Father Lucian at the end. We'll have to see how it all pans out.
I kind of want to just march up and kill him. I think Silas is definitely right, though Vadric seems to think differently. I don't think Lucian has left enough evidence besides hearsay to be convicted by the town.
I don't know, Vadric does seem to think that people aren't the biggest fans of the priests as of late. But yeah, even if the people all knew and believed the priests are trying to kill us, I don't think that would be the biggest problem for them. They probably would do the same to protect the amulet of St. Celine.
Agreed. Before we go, though, can we discuss this vampire thing? Have you guys ever heard of that?
Could I make a quick history check before we go, Ben?
Sure, we should roll at least some dice before we end the session.
That's a 26?
All right, you have heard quite a bit about Vampire, at least the lore behind him. He is said to be one of a group of somewhat evil entities called the Dark Powers, who rule over the domains of dread through champions. Vampire is said to be the source of vampirism, a boon he bestowed upon loyal followers in days where he was in greater power and not confined to the demi-plane of Ravenloft, which is where the domains of dread are located. Vampirism spread like a curse, though many orders of vampire hunters put a stop to widespread vampirism. There is still rumor of some cities far to the south that are entirely comprised of vampires, though. Over the last several centuries, however, it has been theorized more and more that vampire is just a relic of an older time when people didn't have a good explanation for vampires.
So he is like Zeus in Greek myth? Believed in once upon a time, but not really anymore, but there are still stories and mythos around him?
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
Well, I'm betting that he is real and that we are going to kill him. Don't worry, guys. I can handle the actual killing gods part on my own. Donatello isn't backing down from a fight anytime soon.
All right, well, unless there are any other questions, we will end our session there.
And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you liked the video. It really helps out the channel.
Thanks for joining, everyone. We will see you all tomorrow. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Presidential D&D Campaign, where AI-voiced U.S. presidents play Dungeons & Dragons with me, Ben Shapiro, your AI Dungeon Master. This is episode 16 of the campaign.
And this is the episode where we finally kill Father Lucian, right, Ben?
Well, we will see how far we get. First, before we get started with a recap, I'd like to reintroduce our guest, Kamala Harris, who will be voicing Melanie DeLaver, the woman who you all saved earlier in the campaign by retrieving the magical crystals from the Lightning Elemental Cave.
Thanks for having me back.
Agreed. Thanks for having all of us back, Ben. I'm excited to finally meet this Quinn guy you have all been hyping up.
Who's Quinn, Joe? I think that's the name of the guy I played in the Silas one-shot, but I don't think we are going to be meeting him this session. Honestly, he's probably dead.
No, not that guy. I mean, the guy you all have been talking about, my bow is named after him. I think he wanted to hire us for something. Quinn?
Christ, Joe, shut up.
All right, we should do the recap. I can't handle this right now.
Yeah, all right, I think it's Donald's turn for the recap, but would you want to give us the recap instead, Kamala?
Sure, I'd love to. I was here all session, even though I only had a small part at the end. All right, so last session, the group left Southern Edge, probably for good since it is a real terrible town, after making a quick stop at the Alchemist and finding exorbitantly inflated prices. We traveled up to Silas and let him know of the deal, and then took Amabo back up to Loudwater, where I, Melanie Dilliver that is, met them at the Blessed Waters Tavern. We are now all on our way to the mansion to mend Amabo and to talk with Thorn and Kieran.
You did leave out the tiny detail of my very important charisma check to convince Silas to use the magic crystal instead of killing us. Other than that, great job.
We also had a bit of a lore dump, too. We found out that Lucian believes he is fighting a war against Vampire, the ancient Dark Lord of vampires, and was torturing Silas trying to cure him as a tool against Vampire.
I'm sure that the random lore drop about some random dark power won't have any impact on the rest of the campaign, though. Right, Ben?
Yeah, I think that was just mentioned kind of in passing. All right, well, before we get started, just a reminder that if you have missed any of the previous episodes, they can all be found in this playlist on the channel. So our session is going to begin arriving at Kieran's mansion. Even before you are able to knock on the door, Stapes opens it. My lady, you really should not be traveling out in the city unprotected.
Relax, Stapes. I was just waiting with Vadric at the inn for our friends to return.
Yes, of course. My apologies. I did not mean to correct the lady. Just concerned for your safety and health, that is all.
Of course, no harm was done, Stapes. Can we get our new dwarf friend to a bed and get him some food? He still has not woken up, and I am told he has been sleeping for a long time. He is in poorer health than I was, I'm afraid.
Of course. My lords and lady, Master Kieran and Lord Thorn are waiting in the dining hall. The guard informed them of your arrival. Stapes grabs Amabo and leads him away.
Hey, Stapes, you gotta make sure he heals up fine. We have unfinished business, him and me.
Of course, my lord.
Why does he address us as Lord? It's nice and all, but we hardly know him.
Stapes is heavily steeped in tradition, and it is tradition to call visitors to the House Lord. Most visitors would not be granted immediate access to see Kiran, but then again, it is strange times we are in now.
You used to be a druid, right, Melanie?
That is correct. Though I am afraid that I do not have any of my old powers left. My family, well, they did not take kindly to me leaving them. That is where my affliction comes from. Which reminds me, I have not thanked you three for recovering the crystals and defeating the elemental there. Kiran informed me of your efforts, and we are truly in your debt.
Just trying to help out good people.
You reach and enter the dining hall to find Kieran and Thorn seated at the far side of the table, talking over a light supper. Thorn looks up, then looks down, rather embarrassed at where you all left things. Kieran smiles. My friends, I have been anxious for your return. Tell me, was your trip successful?
Sort of. The adventuring party was dead as expected, save for that leech in the other room, Amabo.
I see. All right, we must talk further, but first, let's get you some food. He rings a bell, and 2 servants come in carrying platters of food, one with fresh-baked bread and some salted meats, and the other with fresh fruits and vegetables. Much better food than the traveling rations you have been subsisting on for a while.
Thanks, Kieran. We appreciate that.
I'll take my seat to Kieran's left, across from Thorn. Please sit, adventurers. We can talk while we eat.
Yes, tell me how it went. I'm sorry to hear that the other group is indeed dead, though it does confirm my suspicions. Did you find out more about how they met their demise, or why the recent caravans have not arrived in town?
First off, there was an Ochu that destroyed a caravan. We killed that, pretty much just me, but I guess these guys helped.
God, Donald, every time. You literally did nothing in that battle. Anyways, the main problem was a vampire named Silas who is living in the swamp. He is definitely actually one of the main things we wanted to discuss with you.
A vampire? Interesting. You killed him, I presume? Or is he still going to be a problem?
No, we didn't kill him. He's a pretty nice guy, actually. Well, if you ignore the people he's killed, that is. We set up a deal with the gravekeeper down in Southern Edge to provide him with food, so you shouldn't have to worry about any further problems from him.
You didn't kill the vampire that was feeding on your dwarf friend?
He isn't our friend. Pretty much the opposite. But no, we didn't kill Silas. Turns out he hates Lucian probably more than we do. An unlikely ally, if you will.
Why does he hate Lucian?
Apparently Lucian was torturing him in the Abbey for the better part of a year. Also, it sounds like Lucian was definitely behind the bandits last year too. We think that the bandits tormenting this town are the same ones who sold Silas to Lucian for a ton of gold.
That's awful. Why would Lucian do something like that? We used to be friends, you know, back before he became head priest and before I was lord of the town. He has changed a lot since then, though. But the Lucian I used to know would never do something like that.
Well, he's definitely not the same Lucian you used to know then. Anyways, Silas did kill the adventuring party and one of the caravans, but mostly because he was starving and had just escaped being tortured for a year. Can't really blame him for that.
Also, did you know about Southern Edge selling zombies and the like? Rather atrocious things are happening down there.
Kieran grimaces and Thorn looks up, interest piqued with a morbid curiosity. Yes, I am aware of Southern Edge. It is a rather distasteful thing that they do, but we have to deal with them out of necessity. They keep our existence secret, but allow us to have contact with the outside world.
Regardless, we do want to go down and try to stop that sometime. It just seems like a terrible thing. All right, we need to talk about Lucian, though, and what we want to do with him. We haven't recovered any evidence that would implicate him other than our word or Amabo's or Silas. He has done a good job of either covering his tracks or making it seem like an accident that I don't think many would believe us. And even if they did, wouldn't the town probably agree with him that adventurers like us are a threat to the town and he probably did the right thing?
Kieran's face drops. Yes, unfortunately you are probably right. I'm sorry. I truly do believe that you 3 want to help us, but I don't think that there is a good way to convince the town of anything. Thorn raises his hand. Kieran, if you wouldn't mind, would it be okay if I talk with the adventurers in private for a moment, just to discuss some possibilities for moving forward? Kieran stands. Yes, of course. Melanie and I can give you the room. Both Kieran and Melanie leave.
Thorn, it's good to see you again. Thanks for not leaving town after our last disagreement.
I almost did. But your note influenced me to stay for a few more days. It took a bit of convincing, but Kieran has also updated me on the nature of the amulet of Saint Celine. It is disappointing, but I don't think that this amulet does hold any answers for me or my people.
Speaking of your people, when we saw you in the bar, you mentioned some stuff about your homeland that we wanted to ask you about. You mentioned a couple of names and also that Rex was a comatose king. What did you mean by all of that?
Yes, there is a lot that I suppose I should tell you about my home. I am sorry for not telling you more beforehand, but you must believe me. I do not believe that it will impact much. Perhaps if you were to travel there, it would be good to know more, but I do not foresee you ever stepping foot in my home. I am willing now to tell you more, but first I wanted to talk to you about the amulet. It is a cursed object, I am sure you realize.
Yeah, I don't know why anyone would use something like that. And we don't think that a god would give it to them. It is way too evil for that, right?
Yeah, it sounds awfully familiar to some artifacts in my homeland, though, and has the signature of a dark power written all over it. The dark powers are always giving artifacts like this to destabilize kingdoms and destroy civilizations. It is honestly surprising that Loudwater has survived as long as they have, if I am right, and probably due to them isolating themselves from the outside world.
Wait, so the dark powers are real then? What about Vampire?
Vampire is one of the worst of the bunch. He controls a major portion of the domains of dread at the moment, through champions like Strahd von Zarevich and Magnus Santiago. Why?
Well, While Lucian was torturing Silas, he kept saying that it was to strike a blow against Vampire in some sort of war with him.
That makes no sense. The only things that Vampire is in a war with are other dark powers. Unless... Thorn's face drops. No, it can't be. Excuse me, adventurers. I'll be back shortly. I just need to check on something. Thorn gets up in a hurry and leaves the room, leaving the three of you alone.
Okay, so there is definitely a lot of strange things going on here. Why does Thorn seem so familiar with the dark powers, do you think?
And why did he just leave in such a hurry when he heard Lucian is fighting against Vampire? You'd think that would be good news if Thorn dislikes Vampire as much as it sounds.
Well, at least we are back on the good side of Draxos, yeah? And he will probably tell us the truth now, which is a refreshing change of pace.
Jesus Christ, Joe, why can't you ever remember Thorn's name? I swear you have very selective memory.
Oh, right, Thorn. I don't think I've forgotten that before, though.
You forget it literally every single time he comes up in a session, Joe. All right, anyways, back to the questions at hand. We really need to make a list of all the questions we have so that we can ask them all and get some answers. We still need to know how Thorn heard the rumors, where Kieran's son is, who Riker made the deal with, what the deal with Thorn's homeland is, and what we are going to do about Father Lucian. I am probably forgetting a bunch of them, but I think that's the majority, yeah?
That all sounds good to me. I think you are probably right that Kieran's son is who spread the rumors that Thorn heard. It sounds like Riker might have made a deal with one of the dark powers for the amulet then. Thorn said that the only things that Vampire is in a war with are the other dark powers, so it's probably them.
That all makes sense to me.
With that, Kieran and Melanie come into the room in a hurry, bringing in a young man as well.
Good news, adventurers. This is our son Tarkin. He has returned home at last.
Well, that answers that question then. Where was he?
That is a good question, Tarkin. Where were you? We were so worried.
Tarkin looks down at the floor. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to leave. I had traveled down to Southern Edge just to get out of town for a bit. Then I found a group that was heading west to Baldur's Gate, and then we got attacked by bandits. And then I was rescued by a noble heading up to Neverwinter, and then another group of bandits attacked us. A scary-looking bandit with blood on his face convinced them to let me go. Then I made it to Neverwinter and was looking for a way to come back here. I ended up in the Eastern Kingdoms after some more travel mishaps, and ended up in the court of King Lavinius. At first I was treated well, but then he thought that I was a spy and locked me up. I was tortured for a bit. I'm so sorry. I told them about Loudwater and the amulet. Tears fall fast down his face. I only escaped a week ago. Loudwater is in trouble.
Well, that answers a lot of questions. Why is Loudwater in trouble?
King Lavinius is sending an army here. They'll be here within the week. He thinks that the amulet is going to make him a new world power. His army will never get sick, and they will be able to spread disease across the land to all of those who won't swear loyalty to him. I'm so sorry, Father, Mother. I never meant for any of this to happen.
Oh no, my sweet son, none of that is your fault. I'm so sorry for all of that. Come, you're safe now. I'll lead him out of the room to go rest.
So there is an army on its way to take the amulet. Yeah, this is bad news.
I don't even know anything that we can do about that.
Forgive me, adventurers. I am at a loss for words. Kieran paces back and forth in front of the fire. We need to evacuate the town. We can take the amulet and head down to Southern Edge. That'll buy us some time.
And just keep running. The town is dependent on that amulet. They'll die without it. Running away will just spread awareness of the existence of the amulet and paint an even bigger target on your back.
And what would you suggest? Just as Kieran finishes asking that, Thorn bursts back into the room. We have a problem. A big problem.
Yeah, we know Thorn. There's an army on its way.
A look of surprise crosses his face before melting back into worry. No, not that, though that is also bad news. Someone stole the vials. Please tell me you have them. He looks at Donatello.
No, I didn't take them. Besides, I don't know if that's a big problem. A bunch of vials of assassin-type forbidden magic is bad for sure, but not worse than an army on the way.
No, I lied. I'm sorry, okay? I just didn't know if I could trust you at the time. You were threatening to kill me. The vials aren't meant for concealing assassins in plain sight or whatever I said. It is much worse than that. I shouldn't have brought them here, but Rex insisted and I caved.
Okay, what are they then?
The mists of Ravenloft. Whoever took those vials has the capability to transport the entire town, and probably more than just the town, into the plane of Ravenloft, into the domains of dread.
Yeah, that sounds bad. Why would you bring those here? Why would you even have that?
Because I'm from one of the domains. Azalin Rex rules over Darkin, or rather, he ruled over it, and still does. Sort of. Anyways, that's not important now. We have to find those vials, and we have to secure them. Otherwise, the army won't matter because all of Loudwater and all of its inhabitants will be gone.
Well, no offense, and that sounds pretty terrible, don't get me wrong, but wouldn't that kind of solve our army problem? If we just aren't here anymore?
Not a bad idea, Donatello, but I don't know if that would be worth it. The domains of dread seem pretty bad. I'd almost rather take our chances with the army. Anyways, either way, we need to find who took those vials.
Well, if I had to bet, it's probably Father Lucian, right? He seems to know about these dark powers, and it seems like something he would do.
Yeah, it was definitely Lucian. Anyways, Kieran, before we get much further, there is still the matter of payment. I believe you promised us 100 gold pieces each.
Kiran stops in front of the fire. Yeah, of course. I'll get you your gold, do not worry. He pauses. This is all going to shit. We need to do something. I'll send out scouts to find the army. See how much time we have before they get here. You four need to find those vials. All right, guys, that seems like a good place to end the session.
This all escalated quickly for sure. There's an army on the way, and the whole town is about to get plane shifted to the domains of dread. That's part of the Shadowfell, right, Ben?
Yeah, they act pretty much as a subplane within the Shadowfell. Definitely not sunshine and rainbows.
I honestly still think that we just need to break those vials then. Being in the Shadowfell is better than being killed by that army. I mean, I could just kill the whole army, I guess. It can't be more than, 10,000 soldiers? That's a piece of cake.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Donatello. Not on the killing the army part, but that our best chance is probably just transporting the town to the Shadowfell then.
Even if we do decide we want to do that, we still need to get those vials. I do wonder how this fits into Father Lucian's plans. Why would he want to take us to the domains of dread anyways?
Definitely still some questions, and you all are pretty pressed for time. Anyways, that's all stuff we should discuss in the next session.
All right, yeah, that sounds good. For all our viewers, if you liked the video and want to see what happens next, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to help out the channel.
Thanks for joining, everyone. We will see you all tomorrow. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Presidential D&D Campaign, where AI-voiced U.S. presidents play Dungeons & Dragons with me, Ben Shapiro, your AI Dungeon Master.
Thanks for having us back, Ben. That last episode ended kind of crazy.
It was, and as I have been thinking, I truly do believe that we just need to go to the domains of dread.
I'm pretty sure that's a one-way trip, though. That means that we and the whole town will be there forever.
Yeah, I don't fancy living in a place called the Domains of Dread, but also getting destroyed by an army seems pretty bad.
Maybe we can use the vials to bluff? Tell the leaders of the army that if they come any closer, we will break the vials and transport all of us there.
That's not a bad idea. You couldn't have come up with it if it wasn't for me, though.
Whatever, Donald.
All right, let's start this off with a recap then. Obama, would you mind?
Yeah, sure, no problem, Ben. All right, so last session we had made it back to Loudwater with Amabo and went with Melanie DeLaver over to the mansion. Then we met with Thorn and Kieran and talked with them about our whole Lucian problem. After talking with Thorn alone, he seemed to think something was wrong and left in a hurry to go check on something, and then Kieran came back with his son, who told us there was an army on the way to destroy Loudwater for the amulet. Finally, Thorn came back with news that his magic vials containing the mists of Ravenloft were missing, and that someone had stolen them. That person now has the power to transport all of Loudwater into the domains of dread. All of the previous episodes can be found at this playlist here if you've missed any or want a refresher on some of the earlier episodes.
So I was thinking, how exactly do you think Kieran's son escaped? He was held prisoner as a spy. I don't think that they would really just let him go right. At least I know that we wouldn't do that for spies.
That's a surprisingly good point, Joden. How would he have escaped? It stands to reason that someone let him out on purpose, right? We should ask him about that.
That's just another question that we need to find the answer to, though. I think first we need to deal with the vial situation. Otherwise, any moment whoever stole them could just transport the whole town into the Shadowfell. That would be pretty bad.
All right, yeah, you're probably right. Let's head over to Father Lucian and ask him some questions then. Do you think he will just try to kill us on sight?
If I had to guess, he knows we're in town. I bet the guards told him as well as Kieran, which means we might be heading into a trap, or he might just not want to kill us in the middle of the town.
You guys want to head up to the Abbey then to talk with Father Lucian?
Yeah, let's do that first.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that this is actually the first time that you've gone up to the Abbey. If you remember, it rests atop a hill overlooking the town. As you climb the steps and reach the top, you see a large fountain. A man, made to appear to be floating slightly off the ground, hands an amulet to a young woman. Water bursts out of the amulet, cascading down to a basin.
You're telling me that if we had just come up here earlier in the campaign, we would have seen this and almost immediately found out it was an amulet we were looking for?
Well, yeah. You did honestly find out it was an amulet pretty quick, though. I believe Galen had slipped up and mentioned that on the wagon ride out to his farm in episode 3 or something. You just didn't know what it did, or rather the downside of the amulet, until Kieran told you.
I guess that's true. All right, let's head in then.
The large front gate leads into a courtyard. You see about a dozen priests in white robes milling about, each of whom stare at you and pause for a moment before continuing about their business. The doors to the chapel swing open, and Father Lucian marches out in his customary brown robes. Adventurers, it is so good to see you all again. I realized shortly after our last meeting that I had given you the wrong instructions to the Myconid colony. My deepest apologies.
I really want to just chop this guy's head off. Yeah, no problem, Lucian. Now we need to talk.
Of course, we can talk here, I can assure you. Nobody will bother us.
Did you do it?
Do what?
Steal something from our friend Thorn, who we came to town with.
Now, why would I go and do a thing like that? I'm sure he wasn't carrying around some dangerous magical artifact or anything worth stealing, right?
Yeah, he definitely took them. What do we do now, though? We can't just kill him, otherwise we'll probably never find the vials and the whole town will hate us, assuming that we kill the rest of the priests before they kill us.
I still vote we just kill him anyways.
I agree with Joe, though. We won't get the vials, the town will still be in danger, and they won't trust us anymore after that.
Fine, Lucian, we know you took them. Those are dangerous. Do you even know what they can do?
Make a persuasion check. Or intimidation, I'll give you either one.
Definitely intimidation, then. That's a 25.
Lucian looks down, a look of worry crossing his face. They are going to help us win the war, Senitas promised. I know that the town will hate me for it, but in the long run, their sacrifices will have been vital in the war against evil.
What evil are you fighting, Lucian? Do you really think that a god would have you do any of this?
Sometimes good people have to do bad things for the greater good. Anyways, I have no need to talk to you of this. It is clear that you don't understand.
Understand what, Lucian?
That I would die to stop the enemy. That everything I have done is for the betterment and safety of the town and its people. That I will win this war, even if it means that I won't see the better world that will be created for my sacrifice and the sacrifices of the people here.
We get that, Lucian. But if you use those vials, you will banish the town forever to a dark place. A place definitely not of the gods.
A place where we will win the war for the good of all mankind.
All right, can we just kill him now?
Maybe soon. First, let's head out for a moment. I'll use invisibility and sneak past in and see if I can steal those vials.
Can you use invisibility on me instead? I think I'd have a higher chance of being stealthy inside. My stealth is a +6.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea, assuming you remember what it is you are stealing. All right, after we leave the Abbey then, I'll cast invisibility on Joden.
All right, Joden, you turn invisible. I'll still have you roll a stealth check for not making noise, but you can make it with advantage as you head in to try to steal the vials back.
Good thing I had advantage. That would have been a 10 otherwise. That's a 22.
You are able to step carefully and quickly without making noise all the way into the chapel, following Father Lucian. He stops at the altar, and priests quickly fill up the room. My brothers and sisters of the cloth, thank you for joining me today. This is a momentous day in the history of our town, for today we will be striking a crucial blow in the fight against evil. Tonight, when the moon is at its peak, as we complete the ceremony of the blessing of the water, he holds one of the vials over his head. We shall break these vials over the water and travel to the plain of dread. There, we shall wage war against Vampire and his servants of darkness, and we shall be victorious. The priests let out a war chant. Sanitas, bless our blades to strike true, our armor to withstand blows, and our lives to be long and glorious. And then the crowd begins to disperse, the priests resuming their tasks around the abbey, and some heading down to the marketplace. Lucian heads off into a small chamber to the side.
All right, I'll follow him to try to find the rest of the vials.
He sets the vial on his desk, and you see a small collection of them on the desk as well. Lucian then heads off into another room, sitting down in a chair and watching the fire.
Can I make a sleight of hand check to steal the vials?
Yeah, with advantage since you're invisible.
That's an unnatural 20.
You are able to steal the 6 vials successfully. Lucian doesn't even look up.
For once in your life, you did something good, Joden. Now get out of there.
Yeah, I'll leave as quickly as possible and meet up with Barak and Donatello.
I gotta say, knock on wood, but that went a lot better than I thought it would.
Yeah, I thought for sure Lucian would catch Joden somehow and he would die. But you actually did it, Joden. All right, we should get these vials back to Thorn then.
As you begin to descend the hill, you see a battalion of guards begin moving up. Then behind you, you see a handful of priests call out, "Thieves! Stop, thieves!"
God damn it, Joden. I knew you messed up somehow. Well, guys, are we fighting or running?
How many guards are there, Ben?
About 15 or so coming up the hill. You see more guards mobilizing down in the village as well. And then there are 8 priests coming at you from the abbey.
All right, I can get out of here with Misty Step, and I can cast invisibility as a 3rd-level spell on you guys. It won't be great, but you might be able to sneak around the abbey and avoid being caught until the way down is clear.
Running it is, then? I agree. I think you both would probably die if we fought the guards.
All right, as the guards move up the hill and the priests come to arrest you, Barak, you cast invisibility targeting both Donatello and Joden, and then Misty step down to a rooftop off to the side of the hill. I'll have you make an athletics check to keep your balance, and Donatello and Joden, both of you need to make stealth checks with advantage to avoid making noise. However, Donatello, you are wearing heavy armor, I believe, so you also have disadvantage, so you only get one roll.
That's a 3 for me. I'm falling to the street.
I got an 18. Ain't nobody seeing me.
I got a 25, so I'm probably safe too.
All right, Donatello and Joden, you are both able to sneak away invisible, mostly due to the fact that Barak, after Misty stepping away, lets out a loud cry as he falls to the ground. Barak, you take 9 bludgeoning damage as you land on some crates in an alleyway. The guards are now chasing you, believing that you brought the other 2 with you, but messed up on your landing.
All right, now that I am in the alleyway, can I use my last second-level spell slot to cast invisibility on myself?
Okay, yeah, you can do that. Since you'll be out of eyesight of the guards, I'll say that you were able to hide successfully and evade the guards. Where do you all want to meet up? You are fugitives now.
Probably back to Karan's then?
Yeah, that seems smart. I think we should see where the army is at, and then we can use the vials to send them to Ravenloft instead.
That's a pretty good idea. We should bring that up to Thorn. He could probably help us know how many vials to use and how far away from the town they need to be. We don't want to end up getting both the town and the army sucked into the domains of dread.
Agreed. All right, let's head over to Kieran's then.
As you approach Kiran's house, you find another battalion of guards pounding on his door. Kiran, by order of the High Priest, open up. You see Stapes open the door, and then the guards barge in, dealing a heavy blow to Stapes and knocking him back. You are under arrest for crimes of treason against the church. A few minutes later, you see the guards emerge with Kiran and Thorn being led away in shackles. Melanie at the door with Tarkin begging them not to take them.
Shit. Well, I think it's time to kill the guards then.
What time of day is it, Ben?
Just after noon.
All right, I don't think we can fight the guards. I'm almost entirely out of spells after getting us out of there, and if we start fighting, then we'll have to just kill everyone. We have the vials. That buys us some time so we can rest up. I can get my spell slots back, and then we can stage a prison break.
I don't even think we would need you to take all of those guards, but fine. That's a good idea.
The guards march away, leading the 2 of them to the abbey where the prison is located. Joden, as you reach into your pocket to pull out the vials, you find instead of vials, 6 small candles, cut in the same shape as the vials.
Guys, I don't have the vials.
God damn it, Joden, I can't believe this. You fell for a simple illusion?
That's a pretty decent piece of magic, honestly. I'm kind of impressed. Well, scratch that plan then. How long do we have until nightfall, Ben?
You'll have about 10 hours until midnight, when Father Lucian said that they would conduct the ceremony and break the vials.
Damn, how many spells do you have, Barak?
I had to use all my second-level spells and one of my third on invisibility and Misty Step. So I have 4 first-level and 1 more third-level.
All right, we need to come up with a good plan here, guys, and pretty quick. I knew it was too easy to steal those vials. Lucian must have known we were going to try to steal them. Melanie, Tarkin, and Stapes are still at the house, though?
Yeah, all 3 of them are still there.
You've put us into quite the predicament, Ben. Should we call for Silas? He could help us, probably.
But it's still day out. He couldn't make it until tonight, so we definitely should call him, but it won't help until it's nighttime.
All right, unfortunately, I think we need to take a long rest then. We can work on coming up with a plan, but that'll get Barak his spells back, and I don't think there's much we can do until tonight anyways. We can talk with Melanie and them to try to come up with a way to both stop Father Lucian and break them out, but I really don't think we can do anything until night falls. That gives us 2 hours to find a way to fix all of this.
Yeah, I do think that's probably the best course of action then.
Agreed. All right, we will head to the mansion, still invisible, and after entering talk with Melanie, Tarkin, and Stapes, and try to find a way out of this mess. Maybe we should stop and try to get Vadric to help too. He seems the most amenable to our cause out of everyone here, and he seems like he might know of some other people who are open to hearing us out and helping us stop Lucian. Then there is still the matter of the army. I wonder if Kiran found out how far away they are yet. Melanie or Stapes might know.
You all head into the mansion, ready to rest up and come up with some plans for how to get out of this mess. We will end the session there, but for next time, you all get to take a long rest, and we will also level up to level 6. I think it's probably about time for that.
Sweet, I get another ability score increase. That'll put me at an 18 strength now. Damn, only a 4 on the health dice. I'm up to 60 health points, though.
That's pretty good. I'm only at 38. I do have extra attack now, but that's not the best as a wizard. Wait, do spells count as attacks?
No, spells don't count as attacks, but that extra attack also lets you cast a cantrip instead of a second attack. So you could swing with a weapon and then cast one of your cantrips instead of just casting a cantrip.
Oh, that's not too bad then. Okay, that makes sense.
I'm at 52 health. That's not bad. I also get a new favorite enemy, which I'm going to choose undead. I kind of wish I didn't choose dragons at level 1. I don't know if we will ever see a dragon. And then I get another natural explorer, so I'll choose swamp. Pretty thematic that I know how to traverse swamps now that we've been in one for a while.
Awesome. So I think that concludes the leveling up part. Any other questions before we end the session?
Yeah, are you kidding me about all of this shit you threw our way, Ben? Like, here we were just going along, handling a few small side quests and rescuing Amabo from Silas. And then now, all of a sudden, we have an army on the way and a crazy priest trying to send us all to the domains of dread. What the hell?
Yeah, things definitely ramped up quickly in the past 2 sessions. Now we are also fugitives and have until midnight to stop Lucian, or we will fail. And even after we stop him, we still have to stop the army. Though I do think that Donatello's idea to try to send the army to Ravenloft instead is a good idea.
Shit definitely did hit the fan both this and last episodes. Lucian set you up pretty good with the thief thing. He probably told everyone you stole gold or something, and now there's not a good way to clear your name since you all ran away, and the fact that he still has the vials is bad news too. Anyways, all stuff I'm sure you'll all figure out next session.
Yeah, maybe. Or we just end up in the domains of dread as fugitives, though hopefully once people see how terrible it is there, then they won't be so worried about us fugitives anymore.
We have so much on our hands that we haven't even really stopped to ask about motives here either. So is Lucian serving a dark power then? It sounds like he really believes that he is helping out Sanitas.
Yeah, I rolled pretty great on that intimidation check. I think he was telling the truth. That just means that someone is manipulating him then?
That makes sense to me. Some dark power is masquerading as Sanitas and tricking Lucian into helping him. If the whole land gets trapped in the domains of dread, would it become a new domain or would it just be part of an existing one?
That's probably something that Thorn would have to answer. Not a ton is known about the domains of dread, and it is honestly pretty impressive that Thorn was even able to get out of them. Not to mention a magical artifact that has the capability to transfer something from here to a domain of dread is an insanely powerful one.
Yeah, and he has 6 of those vials. That does make me think that they don't have a great area of effect, though, right? If he needs 6 of them just for the town of Loudwater?
Hey, guys, want to know what I just realized? If we are able to get the vials and still have some left after dealing with the army, we should use it to send Southern Edge to the domains of dread. Something tells me they would fit right in over there.
And Thorn is an undead, so I am sure that his kingdom wouldn't take kindly to people selling off undead into slavery, pretty much.
That's a really good point. I had honestly kind of forgotten that Thorn is a zombie. I bet he doesn't like the sound of Southern Edge at all.
Yeah, Thorn would definitely hate them. Anyways, we should end the session here, and we can table this conversation for tomorrow instead.
Sounds good. Before we go to our viewers, if you liked the episode, please don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And share it with any friends you think would enjoy as well. That really helps out the channel.
Thanks for joining, everyone. We will see you all tomorrow. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Presidential D&D Campaign, where AI-voiced U.S. presidents play Dungeons & Dragons with me, Ben Shapiro, your AI Dungeon Master.
Yeah, thanks for having us back, Ben. I'm ready to do what I should have done last session and finally kill Father Lucian once and for all.
That was honestly kind of my bad that we didn't kill him. It's ironic since we didn't kill him in order to avoid the whole town coming after us, and now the whole town is coming after us.
Why are they coming after us again? I thought we were the good guys.
Well, I think that can best be answered with a recap. Donald, do you want to give it this time?
Yeah, sure, whatever. Last session we went and almost killed Father Lucian until Barak said he had a better plan. It was a better plan, honestly, until Joden messed it all up and stole 6 candles instead of the vials containing the mists of Ravenloft. Anyways, apparently Father Lucian had anticipated us coming and swapped out the vials with the candles and cast some illusion magic, and then sent the guards and priests after us. We had to run away to Kieran's mansion, only to find Kieran and Thorn being led away in chains to the Abbey for crimes of treason against the church and Father Lucian or something like that. Anyways, the previous episode and the whole campaign can all be found in this playlist on the channel.
Great, thanks.
I would just like to point out that it wasn't really my fault. I stole the vials, it just turned out that they were the wrong vials and were actually candles instead. All of you would have fallen for it too.
Probably not me. I should have gone in instead.
I would never have fallen for such a cheap parlor trick. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it turns out that Father Lucian didn't even cast any illusion magic and you just stole 6 candles from him.
Screw you guys.
All right, with that, let's get started. We have quite the predicament on our hands already without fighting amongst each other. Our session will begin within the DeLaver household. Melanie, Tarkin, and Stapes are all present.
Please tell me you have a plan, adventurers. We need to free Kiran. Those charges are preposterous. He hasn't done anything to commit treason against the church. He is trying to save the town.
Yeah, don't worry. We know. We are going to be working on a plan to free him. Silas said that he would be able to come help, so we will call for him, and I need to rest to recover some spells. I had to use a lot of magic in order to get out of there earlier.
Would one of you be able to go get Vadric as well? We could probably use his help too.
I'll use the sending stone that Silas gave me to call for him as well, and let him know what is going on, and that we need his help for when night falls.
Yes, Tarkin, go get Vadric and ask him to come here.
Tarkin will hurry away to the Blessed Waters, returning a few minutes later with Vadric. Donatello, what do you want to say to Silas? You have 25 words to convey your message.
Let's see here, Silas. We need your help. Father Lucian is about to plane shift the whole town, and they have taken captives. Meet us.
Sorry, that's all the words you have.
What? I don't think that was 25 words.
It was. The message translates as follows. Let's see here, Silas. We need your help. Father Lucian is about to plane shift the whole town, and they have taken captives. Meet us.
Damn, nice going, Donatello. All right, does Silas send a message back?
He does, almost immediately. Idiot. Choose your words more wisely. It is a good thing I can track you guys almost anywhere. I'll be there just after nightfall. Idiot.
I changed my mind. We are going to kill Silas, too. Maybe when we send Southern Edge to Ravenloft, we can send him, too. Nobody calls me an idiot and gets away with it.
Christ, grow up, Donatello. Stop being such a baby.
At least I can remember who Thorn is.
Who?
Jesus Christ. All right, what's the plan going to be then? We have Vadric, Stapes, Melanie, Tarkin, Silas, and the three of us. We just have to fend off a town of guards, steal the vials, and probably kill Lucian, and free Kieran and Thorn. And we will only have about 2 hours to do all of that after I rest up and recover my spell slots.
I thought you were supposed to be the one with the plan. Aren't you always bragging about that?
Yeah, just point me in a direction and I can handle the guards alone.
I don't think I'm always bragging about having a plan, but yes, I have a plan. Mostly. I think Silas can handle getting Thorn and Kieran out of prison. He has his charm, and he could handle himself if things go sideways. Perhaps Melanie or Tarkin could go with as well. Might help to at least have a pretend reason to see them and make the charm a bit easier to go along with.
Yeah, I can go with him. I'm not going to leave the two of them alone with a vampire.
You really seem to have something against vampires, don't you? Anyways, all right, then the three of us need to sneak up to the Abbey. Vadric, do you know of any alternate routes up to the Abbey?
Stapes raises his hand. My lords, there is indeed a back route that would work quite well in this circumstance, I think. The servants of the Abbey use it to travel down for water and to avoid being seen. Most of them are friends of mine. I can make sure the way is clear tonight, and it will lead you within the Abbey walls themselves.
Damn, Stapes, I don't say this lightly, but you are pretty awesome.
Thank you, my lord. I should get going if I'm to make the necessary arrangements. Excuse me.
Before you go, Stapes, Kieran had promised us 100 gold pieces each, and I don't want to miss out on that if this thing goes sideways.
Of course, I'll have someone bring it right up.
Christ, Donald, you really are just a murder hobo looking for gold, aren't you? Okay, we have the way up to the Abbey. It would still be really helpful if we could cause a distraction for the guards down here in the village. Vadric, do you think you'd be able to cause a disturbance?
Just me? No, not really. But I know of some people who can help with that, and I think are open to the cause. They did not like seeing Kieran being dragged away in chains. He is almost always out in the town helping people, and definitely has a lot of the populace on his side. We can make a sizable enough distraction.
All right, so that just leaves us to take on an abbey full of warrior priests who are getting ready to battle a dark power by transporting the whole town into the Shadowfell. Piece of cake, honestly. Barack and Joden, you could both stay here with Tarkin.
Before we forget, has the scout returned yet about when that army is supposed to get here?
No, not yet, but Kieran sent him on the fastest horse we have. We won't know until he returns.
Before we all forget too, Tarkin, how exactly did you escape?
Tarkin's face grows red. What? How did I escape?
Oh yeah, I actually forgot about this. That was the first Joden. Yes, Tarkin, how did you escape?
He grows quiet. Do one of you want to make a persuasion or intimidation check?
I'll roll for intimidation, of course. Holy hell. This is rigged. I got a natural one. You're telling me that I was able to intimidate the high priest who is ready to sacrifice himself in his town for some god, and I am not able to intimidate an 18-year-old kid?
That is exactly what I'm telling you. You stammer on your words, and the intention of your intimidation falls flat.
I've never stammered before in my whole life. This is bullshit.
Well, first time for everything, I guess. Tarkin looks down. I don't want to talk about it, okay? It was an accident.
I'm sure it was, son. That isn't your fault. Just tell us what happened.
Do you want to roll persuasion this time, Kamala? I'll give you advantage on it.
I don't have a character sheet, but that's a 15.
He looks up, tears beginning to brim in his eyes. They came in and told me that they were sending an army out that day to come and destroy the town, and that I had served my purpose. They unshackled me, and the executioner came in and was about to kill me. But then, he sneezed.
I'm sorry, he sneezed?
Yeah, he sneezed. He dropped the knife he was about to stab me with, and I picked it up and stabbed him. It all happened so quickly I didn't mean to kill him, but he was about to kill me and I had just a small moment and I took it and then he was dead and I just ran. I didn't run into any guards and before I knew it, I was on the road. I followed a sign for Southern Edge and just kept running until I made it back here.
Okay, out of game moment for just a second here. Ben, you really expect us to believe that Silas finds and saves this kid on the road, somehow being part of a group of bandits that just happened to rob a carriage Tarkin was a part of, and then after being imprisoned for being a spy, he was able to escape because a highly trained executioner sneezed at the wrong moment, dropped a knife, and then this 18-year-old kid was able to kill him and run away without bumping into any guards, and then just happened to see a sign for Southern Edge, a small little outpost in the middle of nowhere, and found his way home. That is way too much coincidence to have happened. No way.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with Donald here. That's a lot of pretty specific chances to line up in order to get him back here.
Well, it's rather obvious, right, guys? Something sent him here, probably whatever dark power is manipulating Lucian.
That's a pretty good guess, Joe. Anyways, you all know I can't spoil the story. So, any other plans, or are you long resting for the next 8 hours to recover the spell slots?
All right, yeah, we should take that rest and then get to work, guys. We have our work cut out for us here.
The next couple of hours pass by uneventfully, except for Silas arriving just after sunset, looking to be in a fair amount of pain. He clearly traveled really fast to have made it here so soon. He does agree to the plan, however.
Something I just thought about. Can he go on to holy ground? Wouldn't the chapel be blessed or something?
No, the chapel is most certainly not holy ground, Silas says. I don't think it was ever even touched or blessed by a god. Whatever dwells there is certainly not from the celestial plane, I can tell you that much.
Interesting. So not only has Lucian been deceived then, but probably all of the high priests dating back to whenever Celine first got the amulet from Riker.
It would appear so. All right, are you all ready to head out into the city for the final showdown then? The time has come.
Hell yeah, I'm ready. I'm going to go kill Lucian. Both of you better leave him to me.
All right, we can do that. Something tells me you'll regret that, though.
I have zero regrets.
All right, as you exit the Dilever house and Melanie and Silas go their own way to the prison to rescue Thorn and Kieran, you can see a heavy fog rolling in from the east. Stapes leads you around to the servant entrance, a narrow flight of stairs that would easily be missed if you didn't know what you were looking for. My lords, please do be careful. I hope you are able to succeed in your mission, however.
Thanks for taking us here, Stapes. It was good to have met you.
Honestly, Stapes has got to be one of the best people in the campaign.
You probably jinxed it, Joden. Now he's going to betray us or something. Did he bring us the gold, Ben?
Yes, a servant brought each of you a bag of 100 pieces of gold. You should all add that to your character sheets. All right, as you begin the climb, it looks like Stapes did a good job and cleared the way for you. You don't run into any servants the whole way up and emerge into the kitchens of the Abbey. Here, you find a couple of servants, but they largely ignore you except for a few pointed stares.
All right, let's go stop a psychopathic priest from destroying the town then.
The kitchen exits into a courtyard, just to the left of the chapel entrance. You can hear chanting from inside.
Wait, how are we supposed to stop Lucian from just breaking a couple of vials? That seems like an easy thing to do in just a moment of time, just by throwing them to the ground once we enter and start massacring priests.
Turn me invisible this time, Barack. I'll move in and kill Lucian before he even has a chance to do that. And I can steal the vials, too.
Why would we send you? You'll have disadvantage on the noise stealth check, so you're the most likely one to get caught.
I'm not going to get caught, and I won't make the same mistake as Sleepy Joden over here either.
That is literally the dumbest thing I've heard all day, Donatello. You have the worst stealth and are wearing heavy armor. There is no reason at all we should send you. It would almost be smarter just to have Barack send a fireball up there destroying everything than to send you.
Fine, whatever. You better leave Lucian to me, though. I'm going to chop off his head.
All right, Joden, then. I'll cast invisibility on Joden and send him in to steal the vials.
Sounds like a plan. Joden, as you enter invisible, you see row after row of priests, and even just common folk who have gathered for the ceremony of the blessing of the water. Father Lucian stands at the head of the chapel in front of the same altar as he had given his earlier speech, holding an amulet above his head and chanting something under his breath. The whole congregation seems to know the chant by heart, as they are all murmuring it as well.
All right, I think I should sneak into his office and try to find the vials there. We still have like an hour and a half or something before he said he would complete the ceremony, yeah?
You have about an hour. It took a while to make it to the stairs quietly and then to climb them to the Abbey.
Still, I think that would be a good idea.
Okay, I'll do that then. Do I find the vials in his office, Ben? Fingers crossed.
No, the vials aren't in his office. You scour them up and down, taking about 10 minutes to do so, but no vials.
All right, he must have them on him then. So I need to sneak up to the front of a crowded chapel and steal something from the priest without anybody noticing. This is the most stealthy thing I've ever done, I think.
It will be, yeah. All right, I'll need you to roll a stealth check with advantage to see if you are able to make it there without making noise, and then a sleight of hand check. I won't give you advantage on that one, to see if you can steal the vials from his pocket without him noticing.
That's a 21 for the stealth check, so I should make it up there.
Nice, Joden. Almost there.
And a natural 20 to steal it.
Goddamn, I thought for sure you were going to lose it there.
Wow, that was a crazy good roll. You were able to steal 5 vials from his pocket without him noticing.
Can I make a perception check to see if they are the real deal?
Sure. You want to do that in the front of the chapel as well, or...
No, I'll head back outside to the others.
Wait a second, you aren't pulling one over on us this time, Ben. I thought there were 6 vials.
Dang, I thought I had pulled it off. Yes, you are correct, Donatello. There were 6 vials in the box in episode 1.
Damn, so he still has one of the vials on him then?
It would appear so.
Damn. All right, I'm going to go back up and try to find the last one.
Since you rolled so well on the last one, I'll just say that you've definitely learned how to be quiet while moving. You see the other vial in the same hand as the amulet, above his head and over a large basin of water.
Damn! There's no way you can steal that. All right, Joden, you gotta chop off his arm and steal the vial that way.
Christ, that seems brutal, Donatello.
Do you have a better idea, Barack?
Well, no, not really.
All right, I'll try to cut off his arm with my short sword and steal the vial as I do so.
Roll for an attack. You get advantage since you're invisible.
Holy hell, that's only a 12. I got out all my good rolls earlier.
That does still hit him, actually. He is only wearing a brown robe.
7 damage then.
You swing with your sword at his arm, cutting it deep but not quite severing it, as he brings his arm down with a cry and the whole audience gasps. Blood splatters onto you, Joden, revealing you even though you are invisible, but you are able to grab the vial from his hand. So you are now standing at the front of a crowded chapel, blood covering you, ruining your invisibility, having just slashed at the head priest and stolen both the vial and the amulet from him in front of everybody. That seems like a good spot to end this session.
Shit, Ben, can't we just keep going? Make it an extra long finale for our viewers?
Yeah, Ben, we gotta end this on a bang.
All right, fine. We can keep going. You're right, there isn't a whole lot left. Just a final battle and then handling the army and wrapping up campaign stuff. Pretty much another episode.
Sweet, thanks. All right, can I run in and slash at a bunch of priests with my longsword?
Well, first we have to roll for initiative.
I got a 13.
I got a 22.
God damn it, I got another natural one. I guess it's a good thing that I didn't try to be the one sneaking around.
I got an 11 for mine, so I'll go after Joden and Barack then.
Are we actually fighting or are we running, guys? I got the vials. If we escape, then we could just be gone with them.
That's actually a good point. I guess we should probably just run away.
Hell no. I have not come this far just to avoid the final battle.
All right, fine. I guess we didn't listen to you last time and ended up as fugitives still. I'll swing at Father Lucian then.
The hell you will. I told you that he's mine.
Fine, whatever, Donatello. I'll swing at some random priest then. Ben, how many priests are there?
There are probably 25 or so priests and 10 commoners in the room.
Christ, we should have just ran.
I'll swing at the closest priest to me then. That's a natural 20, a 16, and an 8. Which of those hit?
You need a 10 to hit anyone in the room.
All right, so that is going to be 13 damage off the critical and 5 damage off the other hit.
Okay, so just from the perspective of the commoners, an invisible enemy just tried to kill Father Lucian, stole the amulet, and then cut down another priest in the space of just a few seconds. That priest is going to fall, dead with a loud yell as you plunge your sword into his heart.
Damn, Joe, you are being pretty brutal right now.
It was your idea.
Still, that seems like a bit overkill. Literally.
All right, Barack, you're up.
I kind of want to cast Fireball. That would solve a lot of our problems, but then I would kill a bunch of commoners. I feel pretty bad about this, guys. We are literally marching into a chapel and killing off a ton of holy people that have just been deceived by a dark power.
That's kind of fair. I didn't think about it that way.
Don't lose your nerve, guys. Some of these are probably the people who locked us in that cave.
Yeah, on orders from Father Lucian. All right, yeah, I'm not going to kill these priests.
Why'd you have to go making sense after I killed one of them? I feel really bad now.
Fine. We won't kill them. How about incapacitation? Can we go for non-lethal blows?
Hey, Ben, how big is the chapel?
It's about 30 feet across in all directions. A set of pews are every 5 feet or so up until the altar.
That is the perfect size. All right, I want to cast Hypnotic Pattern to try to charm everyone then.
Dang, nice. I didn't know you got that spell.
Only thanks to that level up to 6.
All right, so all of the priests and commoners are going to need to make a wisdom saving throw then?
Yeah, 15 is the save DC.
I'm going to roll for them in groups of 5, and I'll say that the commoners are automatically charmed. Damn, that is going to be really effective. That's a 6, a 14, a 12, a 7, and a 21. So only 5 of the priests, and I'll say Father Lucian is in that group, are not going to be charmed then.
All right, I then want to tell everyone to leave and try to tell Father Lucian that we just want to talk.
Make a persuasion check.
Hell yeah, that's an unnatural 20.
All right, I did not see this going this way at all. So after Joden attempted to murder Lucian and then did murder a priest, Barack is able to charm about 30 people and tell them to leave, and then convince Lucian to at least hear you guys out and stop further bloodshed.
You've got to be shitting me. After all this time, we finally have a battle, and then for some reason I'm going last, and then the battle is over before I even get to take a turn? You all planned this, didn't you? You probably rigged all my dice rolls to be terrible just to mess with me.
How would we even do that, Donatello?
I don't know. We all know what kinds of tech we have stored away in vaults. Something there must have been able to do this.
We didn't use some sort of secret technology to rig your dice, Donald. This is just how this all panned out. All right, Lucian, look. I know you think that Sanitas is the one who is wanting you to do all of this, but you've been tricked. The amulet isn't even from Sanitas. It's from a dark power probably who got Riker to make a deal to save his dying wife, Celine.
I don't know how you know those names, but that's heresy.
Really? Do you really think a god would give you an amulet that kills people if they stop using it?
It's a sign of their devotion to Sanitas. If they are not willing to continually partake of the water, then they are disloyal and heretics and deserve death.
Nice god you worship, then. Why don't you drink the water, then?
Actually, you guys wouldn't really know that. That was revealed in the Silas one-shot, or at least hinted at since Lucian was able to travel a long distance away.
Oh, right, yeah, all right then. What about this army on its way to destroy the town?
Sanitas has revealed that army to me in a dream. That is why we need to move to the domains now. We need to take the fight to Vampire. He clutches his arm, blood running down it from Joden's blade.
Look, let's say for just a second that you're right. Sanitas is behind this and wants you to go fight Vampire. Even though he honestly doesn't seem like a big deal if you aren't in the domains, but whatever. Can we just talk it over like adults and come up with a compromise?
Roll another persuasion check, Barack.
Damn, that's only a 10.
There isn't time. He's going to lunge at Joden and try to take the vials back. Joden, do you want to make a contested dexterity check? That's only a 6 on my side, so I think he probably fails.
Yeah, I got a 16.
As he lunges, he slips and lets out a loud cry of pain as he falls onto his bleeding arm. The other priests gather around him, helping him back to his feet. This is why I knew that adventurers were bad news. You never see the bigger picture. All you want is coin. Fine. I'll offer you 1,000 gold pieces each if you just give me the vials and leave.
We aren't going to let you destroy a whole town for gold.
Well, that's a lot of gold. I'm sure Ben has other adventures we can go on.
Come on, Donatello, you know we can't take that.
I know that doesn't mean we have to say no right away. Maybe he would bring it to us and then we could find a creative way out, or something like that. 1,000 gold pieces each is a lot of money.
Not worth condemning a town to doom, though.
No, definitely not. But that was his starting offer. I bet I could get him to double that easy. Anyways, obviously we can't take the money.
Why not? You have no connections to this place. You didn't even know we existed until you arrived here a week ago. Just leave, a whole lot richer, and forget any of this happened.
If you are so bent on fighting Vampire, why drag the whole town with you? You could just go out into the woods, take a single vial and your priests, and go fight Vampire that way.
They would die without the amulet. It wouldn't be worth throwing our lives away for a week's battle against Vampire.
And do you really think that the town will survive much longer than that in the domains of dread? Come on, it would probably be destroyed within a week.
I'll let you make another persuasion check, this one with advantage. You guys are making some good points.
God, I have the worst persuasion. The advantage helped a lot, though. That's a 16.
Fine, whatever. We can just lose. The army will just come and destroy us.
No, we are going to be sending them to Ravenloft instead. We just need to go find Thorn and ask him how many vials we need to use and how far away the army needs to be in order for us to not get sucked in.
As if on cue, the doors to the chapel fling open, and Silas, Thorn, Kieran, and Melanie all walk in. Silas has blood on his face, and as his eyes fall upon Lucian, his face contorts with vampiric fury. You. He stalks across the chapel.
Wait, Silas, wait.
Can I stop him, Ben?
Make a strength saving throw, Joden.
That's a 12.
With vampiric strength and a snarl of pain, he launches you across the room. You take 5 bludgeoning damage as you smash into the wall. Silas lets out an otherworldly screech, and the priests back away, except for Father Lucian, who stands with a determined look on his face.
You've got to be kidding me. I don't even get to fight, and now Silas is going to get to kill Lucian instead of me? I'm going to throw my longsword at Silas to try to get him to stop.
Make an attack roll.
That's a 25 for 8 damage.
Your longsword flies true, slicing into his side. Silas falls to his knees, letting out another snarl and tearing the sword out. He flings it back at you, Donatello. Make a dexterity saving throw.
That's a 7.
You take 9 slashing damage as you try to move out of the way, but it slices your arm.
All right, my turn. I'll Misty step in front of him. Silas, please stop. He isn't worth it.
Make a persuasion check.
God, another one of these. All right, I really wish someone else had tried that first. Could I try for a religion check instead since we are in a chapel and he is a priest?
All right, I'll allow that.
God damn it, that's a natural one. It wouldn't have mattered if it was persuasion or religion.
He swipes at you, knocking you to the side, and you take 7 slashing damage. He deserves to die. Silas grabs Father Lucian by the robes and plunges his teeth into his neck. Father Lucian grows pale, and within a few seconds, Silas drops him to the ground in a heap. He then turns and begins marching out of the chapel.
Honestly, Lucian did deserve that. Do we try to stop Silas? I think we might have a chance at beating him, but it would probably be a close one.
I think we let him go. He helped us free Thorn and Kiran, and I can't really blame him for killing Lucian.
Yeah, neither can I. Lucian tortured him for a year. I just wish we had been able to stop him from killing him.
Yeah, none of you rolled great except for Donatello on that sword throw. All right, Silas leaves the chapel and stalks out of the abbey.
Well, this all went pretty terribly. At least we got the vials. You said Thorn was here?
Yep, Thorn came in with Silas. The remaining priests all take Father Lucian's body and rush out of the chapel in fear. Adventurers, thank you for saving us. That was a rather grisly sight.
No problem, Thorn. Yeah, I wish I had been able to kill Father Lucian, but I'll settle for Silas getting his revenge. I still need to kill Amabo, so I definitely get it with Silas.
Were you able to recover the vials?
Yeah, I have them here. I'll bring him over the 6 vials and hand the amulet over to Kieran.
Kieran nods. Thank you. He turns and leads Melanie away, leaving the 3 of you and Thorn in the chapel. Thank you for recovering these. I can see in hindsight that I was definitely right and should never have brought these here.
Why did you bring them? We definitely need some answers, Thorn.
I do owe you a lot of answers, but there will be a time for that later.
Right, first we need to deal with the army. We were thinking of using the vials to send the army to Ravenloft. Do you think that would work?
It probably would. It would save the town, too. But I don't know how many you would need to take just the army and not too much with them. It depends on how large the army is, and Kieran's scout has still not returned.
He probably died on the scouting trip.
Agreed. It is not an easy thing to scout an army, especially if the army had scouts looking for spies.
What's the plan then?
Unfortunately, there is only one way forward. I owe you all even more answers. I'm sorry. And with that, Thorn throws the vials at the ground. Mist immediately springs forth, spreading out into the city. You can see spectral figures moving in the mist, hands reaching out and ghosts rising up.
Holy shit, why would you do that, Thorn?
I'm sorry, my friends. I did not wish to do so, but it is the only way.
After everything we just did to stop this from happening, Thorn just broke the vials just like that, and now he's talking like Father Lucian too, god damn it.
Do I know of any way to stop this, Ben?
No, nothing like this was ever discussed in the academy. Perhaps, if you had been able to start casting before Thorn had broken the vials, you could have used your tiny hut spell to stop the mists from spreading, but you aren't even sure if that would have worked. The entire town gets blanketed in the mist, and a wall begins moving up about a mile outside of the city. You can hear the screaming coming from down below, and the air begins to feel different, heavier.
Can I kill Thorn?
Seconded.
Sure, make an attack roll.
That's a 19 on the dice, so it is a critical strike. That's 16 damage.
As you swing with your sword to decapitate Thorn, he drops his head in sorrow. I truly am sorry. Then with a single swipe, you take off his head. After forming a large bubble outside, the mist begins to dissipate slightly, and you can hear wolves howling in the distance. Welcome to Ravenloft.
Damn, we won, but we also lost, I guess. We shouldn't have trusted Thorn then.
Well, he is dead again, I suppose?
I don't quite know where we go from here, guys.
Well, that will be the end of this season of the Presidential D&D Campaign, so we will have to find out next session.
Things have a habit of going sideways pretty quickly on us, guys. We were able to save most of the priests and avoid a battle, and then Silas comes in and kills Father Lucian. We were able to recover the 6 vials to stop us from going to Ravenloft, and then Thorn smashes them on the ground. Definitely not the ending I was hoping for.
We didn't even get to destroy Southern Edge by sending them to Ravenloft either. Why do you think Thorn did that then?
I don't know, it seems a bit out of character. He seemed sorry about it too, but just said that it was the only way.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't have killed him in hindsight. If we had just taken him prisoner, then we could have interrogated him and maybe found a way out of here. As is, we don't know where we are going, if this will be a new domain or part of an existing one, and don't really know how to get out of here once we get there.
I wonder if Silas made it out of the mists or if he got moved to Ravenloft too.
And Thorn died really easily. I doubt we've seen the last of him too.
Well, that does conclude this session, though. Thank you all for watching and for all of the support you've given the series. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to help out the channel and to stay alerted to when Season 2 is released.
Thanks for joining, everyone.
It's really been a blast.
See you all soon.